sunsets and skies so blue. Mountains whisper stories of dreams so true. From oceans roaring wild to valleys deep, a heartbeat of a nation that will not sleep. Save South Africa, rise above the storm. Hands together strong, a new world is born. Beauty in our hearts, let it light the way. Evil cannot reign when we seize the day. The people sing louder than shadows can scream. Together we're stronger than the wicked scheme. The soil holds our history, roots run so long. A melody of freedom, we're singing strong. They may curse the land with lies they weave, but we hold the truth in what we believe. Their crowns may crumble, their thrones may fall, for the power is the people's above it all. Save South Africa, rise above the storm. Hands together strong, a new world is born. Beauty in our hearts, let it light the way. Evil cannot reign when we seize the day. People sing louder than shadows can scream. Together we're stronger than the wicked scheme. The people sing louder than shadows can scream. Together we're stronger than the wicked scheme. The people sing louder than shadows can scream. Together we're stronger than the wicked scheme. The soil holds our history, roots run so long. A melody of freedom, we're singing strong. They may curse the land with lies they weave and weave, but we hold the truth in what we believe. Their crowns may crumble, their thrones may fall, for the power is the people's above it all. We know it all.
Good evening, America. Unless you're watching from California, then maybe not so good. Just kidding. Sort of, it's your favorite president, some say the best ever. And tonight, I've got a few things to say. So grab your popcorn, turn off the fake news, and let's talk about what's really going on. It's going to be good, really good.
I'm saying bye to all the lies and all the times you cried, saying that I wasn't right, yet I was right by your side. You manipulator, playing games, your friends commentators, and I don't know what you say about our private conversations, but it's got them hating. Thanks to all the rumors you be claiming, it's cool, I'm done with you, so they can throw you a celebration. You gon' hate it when you see me with somebody living better. I'm trying to tell you that me just doing me gon' have you jealous.
Hey folks, welcome back to the program. It's Monday, June 23rd, 2025. Almost that halfway point, 6 months of the year completed. July 1st came up just around the corner. Welcome back to all the Neanderthals, the canines, the right-wing podcasters, and aspiring car guards out there. People asking where we can download the songs. I've made it available. We put the link up there before. These are songs I produced. I made them available. You can get them. Don't have it handy, though, because people don't ask for it very often. So I want to talk about something here very quickly. I got to be honest with you right now, folks. It's taking an awful lot of motivation for me to be here with you today. Not because I did 6 broadcasts and 8 hours or 10 hours of broadcasting yesterday. That's not the reason why. But because I made a video last night in which I explained the circumstances if you want to come to the United States as a refugee. You have to meet certain standards. We can go back to the beginning of February when the moaning was, what about colors? What about Indians? And I said, I think they'll be part of it. And I had to listen to endless crying. It's not fair. Why do white people get to go? which was not based on anything. But I listened to it and I tolerated, and we put up with it because we're sympathetic to people, only for all of them to be proved wrong. They were all wrong. So yesterday we had an interview with Ernst and Sonia, in which they, yet another interviewee, that would make 8 of the original 59 who've now come on the program, all of whom have confirmed that they had to get immunizations to come here. So in my chat yesterday, there were people intentionally being disruptive and being difficult and trying to start trouble in the chat, and it became very annoying. I didn't deal with it because I was busy doing the interview. My mods dealt with some of it. And then I made a video last night about that, about people complaining in my videos, or my live streams. And I said simply that you must meet the conditions. And then I made a point about having to meet conditions. In fact, ridiculous conditions. This is not a ridiculous condition. We don't want you bringing disease to America. It's as simple as that. You can't come here with active tuberculosis. That's a health risk. You must stay until it's latent. That's why there are chest x-rays. But apparently some South Africans think that they're more important than 330 million Americans. They want to throw our gift back in our face. Well, fine. That's your prerogative. Because of your mystical beliefs in, unicorns and 20-sided dice or whatever it is you're doing on Dungeons and Dragons. I made a video explaining what the requirements were. And if you don't like the requirements, then you're not required to come. It's as simple as that. That's what I said. And then I get idiotic responses. Well, don't you know what RFK is? I don't give a crap what Robert John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr. has to say about immunizations, because what he says isn't germane unless he lifts the requirement for people to get this. So I really don't care what Robert Kennedy has to say. It isn't germane. And I don't care what whiners have to say. It isn't germane. It isn't germane. You get them or you don't get them. But there are exemptions. Yes, of course there are exemptions. Pregnant women, for example, people with compromised immune systems. But in general, you're going to get a jab. And if you don't want a jab, then don't bother putting a statement of interest. Stay there. Because that's the proof that people's lives are not in jeopardy. So for the leftists that want to say that this is a political stunt, that South Africans aren't really being persecuted, well, there's something for them to latch onto. Because if you don't have active tuberculosis, you meet all the conditions to come here, you have a legitimate case for coming here, and you go there and they say, okay, now it's time to get an influenza jab. No, I'm not getting that. Are you pregnant? No. Do you have compromised health system? No. Well, then you're not coming. If that's going to stop you from coming, and that's your choice. But to attack me as, well, what are you doing promoting COVID? I didn't promote anything. I didn't demote anything. I didn't promote anything. You are dim-witted. You're thick hearing. You need to listen to what I said. Stop attacking me. Idiotic. Shooting the messenger. You don't like the facts, that's too bad. I'm not going to sit here and tell you which one here, like a certain other YouTuber falsely claimed about me a couple months. Well, Chris just tells the refugees what they want to hear. No, I never have. I've only ever told you the truth as I know it, and the factual, objective information that's attainable, and my analysis of that. And that's it. If we make a mistake, we correct it. But that's been pretty darn rare. If you don't like the fact about immunizations, you can go live in your cave. You don't have to come here. I have said all along in every video, I'm not encouraging anyone to leave. I'm not discouraging anyone from leave. That's not my role here. But if you don't like the truth and you want to attack me personally, foot sec. Take it on the arches. It's utterly ridiculous. Take your witchcraft and your mojo and your shaman and your freaking, traditional healers and go off to the veld. Because obviously your life's not in jeopardy. You're just destination shopping. You're just destination shopping. I already had a yellow fever vaccine. Getting another one would accomplish nothing except robbing me of $130. And I had to get one to re-enter South Africa. Now, that was part of my video last night. Not a single commenter mentioned that. Oh, Chris, that's unfortunate. They shouldn't have done that to you. That was wrong. No. Oh, he's telling people to get the jab. Oh, it's poison. Oh, my gosh. Oh, this guy's evil. Oh, foot sec. Piss off. Bunch of whiny little babies. I swear to God. Yeah, people are going to take this clip and use it, and they're going to misuse it. But you know what? I don't care. If the objective truth is something you can't handle, then you can't handle the truth. And if you're watching my channel because you're hoping I'll tell you what you want to hear against all odds, you're in the wrong place. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to make stuff up. Oh, no. You know what? You could be Kosa, and you could come to America in the refugee program. Just go fill it out right now. Tell them that you're an ANC cater and that you're being discriminated against because you're an ANC cater. You'll get here in a heartbeat. Yes. No jabs, Yeah, no. You'll be here tomorrow. You'll be here tomorrow. Yeah, I don't care if people get the jab or not. What I'm saying is if you don't get vaccinated and meet the minimal standards, you can't come here. And for that, I'm a pro-COVID guy? What kind of morons are you people that say that nonsense? These are just trolls. They're not real people. They can't be real people. They can't be real people. You can't negate 5 years and censorship and being shadow banned and blacklisted by social media for opposing and calling out what that was all along and then call me a pro-jabber? These people are such frauds that say that nonsense. Such frauds. Johnny come lately BSers. Anyway. Wills, welcome to Marley Quinn, Vilma Erasmus, Estelle Edwards, Lynette Taylor, Tony Espray, Sedgefield, Annalie Erasmus, Herert van Jaarsveld, Konrad Geldenhuis, Flying Dutchman. Stop watching anyone that doesn't agree. Everything I've predicted regarding how this come true thus far. Now I have one track mind. I'm way out. Flying Dutchman. Inspirations. What's up, Neanderthals? It's like Billy, Caitlin, Sedgefield. Thank you for the super chat. Wendy, Conrad, Erica. Hey, Erica, almost missed you there. Peter Say, Pete Sten, LZ Van Royen, Wills. Thank you for your membership, James Duval. Appreciate that. Loretta, Dirk Kotsia, Mr. Miss Smith are here. No one, Gus, Krista van Arde, Steve Herselman, Janine Scenes, Rosalind Rosselmus. Wow, that's an interesting name. Sandra Yolk is back. Sedgefield. Loretta says, second day, I can't stop crying. I'm sorry, Loretta. Howdy, viewers. Leave a like. Thank you, Wells. Okay. Please don't talk in all caps. Yeah, you'll be deleted. It should be a no-brainer in my opinion. Yep. Hey, Colonel, how are things today? It's hot here, Sandy. It's very humid. It's brutally hot. I went outside with a long sleeve shirt on to record a video. It was not pleasant. Eudora Prinsloo, Tom Polkney, Rakes is back. Sean Christobos 1, Tom Smith, Ian Moore, Marinda, hello. Gabrielle Stoltz, Kay Janssen van Rensburg, Freya Dutoy, Debbie Fox. Catching all you guys slipping through here. Anton Mulder, Bonnie Duplessis, Vilma Rasmus. Yeah, my keyboard T wasn't working this morning. It was very annoying. I type a T and I come back and I have all these misspelled words because the T's missing. What happened there? I got to clean my keyboard. AJ Quinn, Anita Herbla, Phantom 404, Gemini, Lindy. Okay, who else we got here? Allison Johnson, Alana Teat. Tony says, okay. Sean Patrick Cronier, Leslie Ann Moon, Candice, Lindsay, hello to you. Charles Van Alten, the voice of reason. Wonder where you at? Ludwig, thank you for your membership. Johan Nothnagel, welcome you. Boiling Frog, Peter Feldman, Hank, Chance, Erica, Jacques, Kotsia, Utopi's back. Hey, welcome back. More Schneeman, Flying Dutchman, Rohan, Urban Homestead. We're getting there. Okay, I'm going to jump ahead, folks. There's a lot of people here. It's a specific phobia characterized by an intense irrational fear of needles, especially in medical settings. People with tryptophobia may experience anxiety and physical symptoms like fainting or nausea. That's true. Hello from Pete Retief, says Liz. Hey, Pete, Liz, how's it going? And there's 140 Rand super chat. I'll get to that in a second. Okay. Okay, what else we got here? 2 songs playing in my head all day. Hey, Tom. Okay, what else we got here? Martin Williams Bernard, welcome to you. Chris Ehlers is here. Hey, Chris, how's it going? Mornay Brits is here. And then we've got a couple of super chats to deal with here. So if you go to another country, their laws apply, no exceptions. It's a vaccine. If any other requirement is mandatory, you have to comply. Exactly. And so for that, I'm pro-COVID? What kind of stupidity is that? Not from you, X-Pac Family Jubear, but the people commenting. What idiots. Flu jab has nothing to do with COVID. Exactly, Belinda. It has nothing to do with it. But the problem is there was a time in which they offered both in one shot. And so people's minds are stuck in that time frame. You can get mad, but, oh, no, sorry? Sorry, I can get mad? Ooh, that's not mad. That is not mad. That, folks, okay, OGs, put a comment in there. That's not mad. That's mildly irritated. That is mildly irritated. By the way, you should hear what I clipped out of the video that I just posted. I took a lot of stuff out of there. Is somebody giving a bunch of memberships? What's going on here? A lot of people becoming members here. What's going on? Okay. No, I wasn't mad. Sorry, not mad. If you want to see me mad, it's going to take a lot more than that. That was mildly irritated. Haley Senecal. Hello, Haley. Little Miss Noah, I love it when you talk foreign. Oh, oui. Est-ce que je peux parler un peu de français avec toi? Ouais, c'est très joli, n'est-ce pas? Et aujourd'hui, c'est lundi. Lundi, c'est le premier jour de la semaine. C'est toujours... Oh, ça, c'est bizarre. Oh, mon nom, c'est bizarre parce que j'ai quelques problèmes ici. Yeah. Oh, yeah, there you go. I love when you talk foreign to me. Friends, Murray says, I've traveled for business and had to go for jabs, people. I think a lot of people have never left South. They don't understand the rules of visiting other countries. Exactly. Candida Oberholzer, hi from Candida. Hello, Candida. Welcome to you. Krista Fanarda. I don't think all is stupid, just too lazy to do their own research and take time. I think people are stupid when they attribute things to me that I never said. And what I find is funny here is I get attacked from these people. And I explained what I had to go through. I had to waste $130 of my money because of a moron in South African immigration. The same moron I'd seen twice before entering the same booth at OR Tambo in the previous 6 weeks. He knew who I was. He recognized me and was just a jerk off and told me I had to go get a jab. $130 for that vaccine I already had. I already had it. I showed it to them. Like, well, we give jabs. You want the jab or not? Yeah. Had to get rabies vaccines, work with animals. Yep. Because they have one-track minds thinking influenza jabs. Exactly. That's exactly what it is. Because they're stupid, stupid, stupid people. And that's what the purpose of that video was. The last one I just did. People hear what they want. Selective hearing. Just like that lady that attacked me. Oh, he's been lying for 4 months about everything in you. No, I haven't. You have a disagreement about EADs, a disagreement about asylum seekers being allowed to work. The law says asylum seekers are not allowed to work. They can get permission, but only after being here for 5 months. And the earliest they could possibly get it is 6 months. And then they have to support themselves. There's no program around them, built around them. And that's what I said from the beginning. The advantage of the refugee program, one of the big advantages, you arrive, you are able to work immediately. The only thing holding you up is Social Security number. Once you have Social Security number, it could take 2 days, could take 5 days, could take 10 days. Once you have Social Security number, boom, shakalaka, go get a job. I said that all along. And that lady, who's a pro-Palestine person apparently, and some sort of leftist, stole my content, lied about me in a group of 7,000 people, and besmirched me and slandered me. Because she heard what she wanted to hear. Just like this nonsense last night, hearing what people want to hear. I'm not telling you that I'm in favor of you getting a vaccination. You think I enjoyed getting a wasted yellow fever vaccine, injecting it in my body for no purpose whatsoever in 2010 because some moron at OR Tambo? No, I didn't enjoy that. That was asinine. It was stupid. And it's contrary to the World Health Organization immunization standards and documentation. But it's South Africa, so I had to get it. Just to get home to Botswana. Because there's no other option for me. The only other option for me is there's not even a ticketing booth there. I can't even leave that spot. So I don't know what their plan would have been other than arrest me. It's not like I can go book a ticket, fly to Zimbabwe, and go from Zimbabwe to Botswana. It doesn't work that way. So it was all just a scam. And I paid the price of the scam. $130. 3,000 Rand. But nobody mentioned that. Then no empathy. No, well, Chris, that's too bad. Shame you had to go through that. Anyway, just lie about me, telling I'm pro this and pro that. What a bunch of nonsense. Stupid people should wear signs. Okay, so Etienne Broncourt, unbelievable. The criteria set by us are what they are. Administration is protecting citizens. Don't be upset. Colonel, the rest of us follow your advice. Thank you very much, Etienne Broncourt, for the 140 Rand super chat. That's exactly right. But you have a segment of society here, but especially in South Africa, that are just demonically obsessed with their false view of the world. And it doesn't matter what you tell them, factually. They'll hear what they want to hear and then spew nonsense. You can hear what you want to hear and walk away. That's fine. But don't lie about what I said. Will you go live every day? Mike in the clouds. I have been live every day since February or March. Well, no, when was I able to do live streams? I think it was March or April. No, it was April. I think it was early April of 2020. So for 5 years, I've been live every day, except when I'm traveling or something like that. There was a period when I didn't feel so well and I still did streams, but I'm always live every day. This is not a refugee channel, Mike. This is not a refugee channel. This is my channel, which focuses on global geopolitics, analysis, news, and geostrategic topics, among other things. I try to bring good news, but we do cover the refugee situation as well. We have a refugee chat every Sunday now at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8 p.m. South Africa time. You're welcome to join us there, but it's not a refugee channel. Thank you for becoming a member there, Gary. All right, Momo, what's up? Gary Buchner. Buttholes will be buttholes, indeed. Soda Bloom, okay, and then Gary became a member. Don't let the detractors get to. They're not getting to me. I'm just making a point here. Failed to understand complaints, emotional outburst about their fear and life in danger, and then a simple inoculation is too much. Exactly. Oh, I'm in danger. My life is over. Oh, I don't have a job. I can't even get money for a passport. Oh, an influenza vaccine. No, I'm sorry. That's a deal breaker. I'm sorry. I'm not laughing at them. I'm laughing at the scenario. The scenario is ludicrous. Hey, Yorgi Bice, good afternoon at your side and our evening. You must have a wonderful evening. Thank you so much. Well, it's still noon around here. By the way, folks, I slept in today. People worried about my sleep. I got some sleep. I was exhausted. I didn't get up till 10 o'clock this morning. I was exhausted. I didn't go to bed till 3, got up at 10. So I got about 6 hours sleep in the end. But yeah, I was just not knackered from yesterday. Ah, boy. Okay. Yeah, if they don't want the jabs, they must foot sec. They're not serious. They must shut the hell up. I will take the jabs, says Yolanda. Yeah, not mad. Okay. World is so corrupt, people fear good deeds. They do, Ludwig. Yep. Okay, and then Dragon, thank you for your membership. Do you have any information on a refugee wanting to stay in USA? I don't understand what your question is. Do I have any information on a refugee wanting to stay in South Africa? That doesn't make any sense, Detlef. Refugee staying in South India, you're not a refugee. I don't understand your question. I'm taking the jazz. Better than living under the corrupt race discrimination. Thank you, Anton, for sharing your view. Loretta, not happy camper. Mr. T, for those rough moments, it's time to have some Mr. TT. Twinkle Stardust, 70 Rand Super Chat. Thank you for that. You're welcome. Sean Robbins, thank you for your membership. Will you go live? Okay, I already answered that question. Okay, when you immigrate to a country, they have their own requirements. Almost all of them have vaccination list. Yep. Yeah, I have to have yellow fever to go to Tanzania. Make a choice. Accept what you have to do. Stay or... Exactly. Norman Lowe, salute, Chris, or salute. I'm sure your content are mostly appreciated. Thank you for what you. So how about you and your family? I hope all... Well, I'm okay. Thank you very much. How about you just got another rejection yesterday for a job application? Sorry you're not successful. We are a BE compliant company. There you go. Take that. K. Jansel von Rensburg, take that to your interview. There's your case right there. That's past persecution. It's also future persecution. You've been denied a job because of racism, and you expect to get denied again in the future. There you go. You've qualified, assuming you're willing to get the influenza jab. We need to stop complaining and be thankful. Yep. Zandri van Onslen. Many people are confusing the flu vaccine with the COVID. The flu vaccine gets created on a yearly basis. Every year it's adjusted according. Yes, it is, Zandri. I know that. I know a lot about epidemiology. Thank you. Sorry, Schoolman, 140 Rand super sticker. Thank you. I know that. And I've talked about it many, many times. But their stupidity, their wholesale ignorance of epidemiology is not a reason to attack me, particularly when I didn't tell people to do something. I didn't say, hey, go get the jab, go get this. I never said that. They're just stupid people saying stupid things about me. And it just, it needs to be called out for what it is. Yeah, Shireen knows. He's not mad at all. No, Chris is not mad. I'm mildly irritated, folks. Hectic weather in Cape Town, huh? Okay. Thank you, Zandri, for pointing out the obvious that most people don't seem to be aware of. Thank you. Since March, I have reasons to leave, flee for my life, and flee from a fellow. Sorry, I want to go where there's no other South Africans to USA, please. Well, there are a lot of South Africans here, but you can find space away from all of them if you want. Prefer a few harmless needles rather than a knife in my arm. Yep. Yeah, Charles Van Alsten says, that is mildly irritated. That's correct. That is mildly irritated. That's not bad. But guess what? Well, Marley, yeah, then you'll pass out and they'll jab you while you're asleep. Sorry, I don't mean to laugh at you. It's what'll happen. Hello, Fun Sean and Yolanda in Potchefstroom. Well, welcome to you guys. Mad Max, you ain't seen Mad yet. Edmund Ferve, Chris, not even worth arguing with juveniles. Yeah, no, don't waste your breath. Yeah, I got you. But it needs to be done. It's just like the lady who slandered me. You have to refute that stuff on occasion because otherwise, and also, people leave. And my point is, if you leave my channel because you falsely inferred something, that's on you. That's not on me. Call me on something I said or did that you don't agree with. People don't agree with my view on the U.S. attacking Iran's nuclear facilities. Fine. We can disagree on that. You can say I'm wrong. History will prove me right, but you say I'm wrong. That's fine. Yeah, Yannick says, I can't believe we even have this discussion. People are shocking. Well, it's just more people in South Africa trying to divide South Africans. If you don't like the fact, see, here's what should have happened. If I'm opposed to immunizations, okay, and I watched that interview, then I should have just said, oh, well, I guess I'm not going. That should have been, but no. Now, jabs. You have to get jabs. Oh, I'm not getting that. That's poison. It kills people. Millions of people are dead. What? No, that's just your nonsensical witchcraft view. It's not the truth. We'd like you want the unfiltered? Well, you're going to have to wait for another platform. That was a 2 out of 10 on the rant from the Colonel. Yeah, Leovin, yeah, that's right. We've been here with that's right. The OGs know, man. They know. Crazy how people still live in 2020. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's 5 years ago, folks. 3 years ago, even. Get over it. We're still here. Collecting my 91-year-old mom's passport. Awesome! That was efficient, Ian. Congratulations. Okay, how long is the war going to last? The war's over, Hidden Hand Chronicles. The war's over. The United States accomplished its goal. Unless Iran attacks us, the war's over. You don't want Chris mad. Hulk runs for the hills when Chris gets mad. Says, will you go live? Dude, I already answered that question. If you engage the Colonel's rant mode, he breaks the internet. Yeah, that's right. I mean, honestly, if you don't believe me, just take it from Baby Wyatt. I mean, it's just insane. Oh, it's been 3 weeks. Okay, get a grip. I mean, honestly, people have no idea what's involved here. A thorough background investigation must be completed to prove who you are, where you're from, what you're saying is true. That has to take place. There's an administrative process has to take place. Interviews have to be conducted. Medical screening has to be done. All this stuff takes time. Just take it from Baby Wyatt. You don't have to trust me. Deanna, as a person who spent several years as an expat, I've experienced exactly what you are with fellow South Africans. You're so right that stupid people should wear signs. Yep. Christina says, okay, now in English. That was a while ago. Man, that's a calm voice. Have you ever heard a colonel being mad? Exactly right here. Had a yellow fever jab in 2006 before going to Tanzania. All standard for traveling. Stick me all you want. Urban Homestead. Cherry, some women love a man who talks the way you do when upset. Oui? Oh, ça c'est quelque chose de très intéressant. Oui, je jamais savoir que ça c'est la vérité. Ça c'est quelque chose de très intéressant de la vie avec les maisons, pas des maisons, avec les femmes. Oh, ça c'est très joli. Oui. We can switch it up. Should get a fully waterproof keyboard. There's no water on my keyboard. It's just a crappy keyboard. It came with a computer, and they promote it as a premium keyboard. It's a gaming keyboard, but I hate these noisy mechanical keyboards. The only thing Apple has over Windows, over Microsoft, is the computers come with the soft keyboards, and I love them. It's the only thing I like about Apple. Okay. Disrespect the military stormers and see the colonel's calm demeanor. Hey, Debbie. Chris, only half the gallery has hit the like button. Yeah, what's up with that? We got 1,000 people, 546 likes. Despacito. Ah, that's a good one. Despacito. That's a good song. I can't believe you can get real pissed off. Imagine you go silent and all the help. Yeah, and that's usually what happens. The Irish and Viking. You're right, Ingrid. You're right. That's what it is. Saw an interesting post today about the jail time in other countries for illegal immigrants. India, it's 5 years. The ones in the U.S. should be happy just getting deported. Exactly. I have a serious, and I mean serious fear of needles, but have the smelling salts ready. Yeah, look, miscellaneous, I got you. Look, guys, I'm not saying you have to get it. I'm just telling you, if you want to come here, it's a requirement. That's what the video was about. And I said, to put it in context, I gave an anecdotal experience. My experience coming into South Africa when I was already immunized. And I got scammed out of $130, and I had no choice. Couldn't get past the immigration guy. Yep. The bunny. The bunny. Anyway. Estelle's laughing. Let me put this in a way as an American citizen. Either take the jabs or get the F out of line. We, the American taxpayer, allowing you here. We do not need any more diseases. Caustic chameleon. That's true feelings for many folks. I mean, people looking a gift horse in the mouth and attacking me. I didn't go on there and say, hey, you must get it. This is certified 100% safe. You must do it. We think you should do this. In fact, we're going to come around to your neighborhood. You're a dorp. We're going to come in and give you jabs right now because that's what we're all about. We're about jabs. I didn't do that. Good Lord. I simply said, either you want to come or you don't want to come. This is a requirement. And yes, there are exemptions. This is a requirement. If you don't want to meet the requirements, then you're not qualified. It's just like not being a South African citizen. You're not qualified. You don't want the jab for influenza, you're not qualified. It's a piece of cake. And besides, I don't even know if they give them all year round. They might not give them in the off seasons. Who knows? How do I think Iran's possible regime change will impact South Africa? Well, there hasn't been a regime change, Dion. Are you predicting a regime change? Well, if there's a regime change, South Africa's screwed. But they could turn to Beijing. That word, Moscow. None the Mac Queen. Hello to you. Sonia Gare. It's norm to get jabs and going abroad. Exactly. Maybe because we're used to that treatment every day. Sorry, that was wrong of O.R. Tambo. It was wrong, Joey. It was wrong. I had the record. If I didn't have a record, plus the dude saw me twice. I mean, it's South Africa. He could have said, yeah, no, I just saw you a couple weeks ago. I know you got the jab. It was good for another 4 years, another 6 years. No, he was just being a jerk. Working in a forensic lab, we get tetanus and hep jabs every 5 years. Yep, still alive. Hey, Louisa. West Ram without power since 4 a.m. Dang, man, that sucks. That's right. They're not RNA. They're not mRNA. They're standard influenza jabs. Pro Narnia. Exactly. Watch Joe Amelia Tigerberg. Very well done. That John Brown, that is absolutely brilliant documentary. I was in South Africa. I went to Joe's house. We talked about it. He told me about this documentary, and he asked my opinion on whether he should run with it or not. And I said, well, let me look at it. Once he finished compiling it, he sent me the link, private link. I watched it, and I told him it's brilliant. I just concerned that he will step on some toes of some gangsters or some corrupt politicians that may have it out for him. And we saw that when they tried to take down his website. But it's a brilliant documentary. It had 15,000 views yesterday. It needs to have 1.5 million views. It's brilliant. Yeah, Hank remembers the epic rants. Yep. Started back by the command to get 130. No. Okay, Charlie, I did get the money back, okay? Full disclosure, I did get the money back. I claimed it back from the U.S. government because it was a travel expense, and they reimbursed me. So I got the $130 a long time ago. No back of buddies. I got the $130 back in 2010. Yeah, but it cost my government $130. Cost me out of pocket $130. Yeah, somebody's oh, that person's jealous shit, okay? 99% of South Africans agree with caustic chameleon. I hate being sick enough to get the jabs. The jabs don't make you, the influenza jab does not make you sick. It's inert. It's inert. Yeah, they believe all the BS because too lazy to do research. Can't wait to get a call. So ready to pack and go with my wife and dogs. Hey, Chris. Marion D. The only problem with this is I wish they pick up the pace, Which idiot are now upsetting the Apple Card? If you don't want to be vaxxed, then you should not apply. Yeah, leave a spot for someone who really wants to go. Yeah, and don't waste other people's time. Hey, Desmond. Thank you for membership. Guys, just take them, okay? Did Americans agree with Biden open door policy? No. No, we didn't agree. We didn't agree, but there was nothing we can do. Yeah, exactly. Mad Max says, go check the Colonel's videos in COVID time, and then you'll see. Exactly. Lie about me. Go watch my videos. People listen, but don't hear, and then spew verbal diarrhea. Spot on, Fitnut Innovations. People just don't get to... Don't just lie. They change stories to suit their own needs and beliefs. You're welcome, Peter Joubert. Why in the world would they don't they get the difference between asylum and refugee? They are dim-witted. A lot of people are. Stupid people need tattoos on their foreheads. Thank you, Truth Channel. Short of doing a PowerPoint presentation refugee program, just watch the Colonel. Yeah. They want a quick fix. I'm so ashamed of people like that. So many Safavids go in their own self-righteous rants. They do. They do. But so do Americans. If there is fear of jabs bigger than getting out of South Africa, they can stay. Exactly, right? That's the point. Amanda Cooper trying to sabotage the program. Those who want to and need to do what it takes, go. They obviously have no news to report. They'll always try to hinder the real news. Hey, Sandra, you even had to take malaria pills on visiting the Kruger National Park. Do they stay away because they don't want to take it? Exactly. Those are much more dangerous for your body than an inert influenza vaccine. Yep, especially if you take mefloquine. Yeah, which I took for 18 months straight. Oof. Imagine not hitting the like button. Well, I think 400 people that are watching the chat right now could imagine that. Where's the YouTube award? Well, Madeline, I said I was not going to display it. I would take it down, and I did take it down. I kept it up for a day or so people could see it, and now I put it back here. I'm going to figure out where I should put it. So I'm going to do a poll. There's 1,000 people. Well, now we're down to 988. I want to do 1,000 people, but I'm going to do a poll. Should I display my YouTube award or pack it away? Okay. Should okay. There you go. Back to 1,000. So should I display my award? And based on the results, I'll go with what you guys for the short term. Okay. Thank you, Matt. Let somebody notice that. Sent you 2 baby Trump videos. Okay. All right. Kim, how did you send them to me? In WhatsApp? And when did you send them? Because I've got so many messages today. Rob Hersoff is active. Rob has sent me like 15 messages today. That's great to hear. Our illegal aliens here have brought measles and tuberculosis, which were virtually non-existent. Yep, that's right. That's right. There was almost no. The only tuberculosis we had in this country was in Maryland and New York City for the most part, and it was former Russians who came here and brought it with them. Yep, they brought tuberculosis with them. They brought multi-drug resistant and extreme drug resistant tuberculosis with them from Russian prisons and gulags and their poorly maintained cities. Yeah, so that was virtually non-existent. Almost nobody in this country had tuberculosis. Now we got it. And then the leftists use these statistics against us. Well, American mother-child mortality rate is exceedingly high for a developed nation. Yeah, because we're full of the world's vermin. Did he say vermin? I think he meant to say vermicelli rice. No. The reason why our statistics are skewed like that is because people from the developing world pour across our border illegally and drag down our statistics. So mother-child mortality is much higher. Maternal mortality is much higher than it is in many developed countries because those countries don't have people who had no prenatal, neonatal care. Where's your YouTube board? Okay. Hi, Colonel. Everything I do is a struggle. The challenge is so much trying to move horizontal. Adriana, I'm sorry to hear life is a struggle, and I hope that it improves for you. I'm really sorry to hear that. No, Conrad. No, he was just being a bureaucrat. That's what it came down to. It was being a bureaucrat. He knew I had the immunization, but I didn't show it, in his view, because it wasn't on yellow paper, which is nonsense. There's no requirement to be on yellow paper. There's no clinic there now, so I don't know what they do with people that don't have it. Well, she's a crap head, Colonel. Thank you, Sinkmaster. All right. People don't realize that most vaccines are dead, inert versions of real things. So your body recognizes the pattern and learns to fight it like a mini flashcard. Exactly. It's like, that's right, learning verbs. Yep, in a foreign language. Gary Buchner, thank you for your membership. Don't let tractors get you. I fail to understand the complaints and emotional outbursts about people fear life and danger and the simple inoculation is too much. Yep. Yurgi Bice, good afternoon at your side. Hey, how's it going? Mamex, U.S. military is preparing for an imminent threat of an Iranian strike on American airbase in Qatar. Okay. All right. Going for asylum, as you mentioned, 5 months of living in shelter. Wish people would get of that word. Cheers again from Iserfontein. Hey, Iserfontein. Yes, been there. Problem with brain dead Biden's open borders led to millions without any medical checks. Hopefully it can be sorted. They weren't even giving COVID test. You couldn't enter America without a COVID test at that time. Yet they let these people pour across. Wheels, 14 rand. Put them on planes in Texas and flew them to Albany and Harrisburg and Tallahassee. Dumped them in our neighborhoods. They hadn't even been tested for COVID. We couldn't even get in an airplane without a COVID test, without a mask, to fly abroad. It was stupid. Zandri says, if you have your vaccine card from baby, take it with. Yeah, exactly. I also had everything, but I don't have cards, so I will go again. I mean, they're doing it for free. Exactly. Hey, Zandri. Well, that tells us you've been for an interview. Thank you for sharing. Before President Trump did the refugee program, I was looking at immigration sign refugee as a no-brainer. So don't get confused. People need to do their homework. Yeah. Well, they just need to listen to what I'm telling them. If you were to saw that and say, who would you vote for? Oh, that's a tough one because the people I vote for won't win. I could vote for Cornel Mulder, but you don't vote for him. So, I mean, that's not even a valid question, Megan. You don't get to vote for anybody. You vote for a party. So, and then they pick the people. display it. I will get new tools from the yard and thrift stores when I get there. Okay. Some people are just so stupid. I can't believe that they I'm with you, Hazel. Hazel Lee Kashula Lotterning. Wow, that's a mouthful, Hazel. Thanks for sharing that. Corney Mulder in the White House. Here comes the sanctions against ANC. Where did you hear Corney Mulder's in the White House? Where did you hear that at? Wills, thank you for the 14 Rand. Stupid people should have QR codes tattooed on their foreheads. Do you agree with the IOL report at 3,000 people went over the USA? 3,000 people? The IOL said that? I didn't check the IOL today. That's the one thing I didn't get to. I was busy. Let me see. Where did that? Has anybody got a link to that story? I'd love to see that story. Cape Union Mart has approached the Western Cape High Court to seek an interdict restraining local organization Palestine Solidarity Campaign from labeling them as supporting genocide. Wow. Slandering that company. Let's stand up for Cape Union Mart. SDP had to get the Yellow Book vaccines. Well, that doesn't help us at all, SDP. The Yellow Book vaccines, there's no such thing. Which vaccinations did you get? I got the rabies vaccination and it hurt like hell because it's a lot of fluid. SDP, that doesn't help. You're giving an anecdotal story without facts. That's just opinion. So please tell us what immunizations you got. If you got the Gamu globin jab that I got back in 1990, oh, that hurts like a mother. That's a horse needle. Yeah, that hurts. That's the only vaccine we had against hepatitis in 1990, and I had to get that to go to Saudi Arabia for the war, and it hurt. It hurt. People couldn't stand. They couldn't sit. Yeah, so that information is not helpful. The Yellow Book vaccines, there's no such thing as a Yellow Book vaccine. There is a Yellow Book in which people annotate the vaccinations you've had against diseases. So which is it? Sorry, I misspoke on terminology, but I believe a couple of videos back you mentioned something about foreign aid for people needing help. Which entity doesn't want? I don't understand the context, Detlef, what you're asking there. What foreign aid? U.S. foreign aid? President Trump suspended that for South Africa. Someone said Corney's in Washington this week. Where are you guys hearing that from? Back a buddy hasn't answered, Nikki. Okay, well, that site's got problems. You know, not a fan of it now. All right, so let me close the poll out. How many we have? 540 votes. 86% of you want me to... why is it not ending? YouTube is not working. What the hell? Oh, I hate this freaking company. They're crappy freaking websites. It won't end. I can't end the poll. Oh, I ended another way. No, it didn't end. It just went back up. What the hell is this? End the poll. Let me go on the channel. Let me try to open up the video. I can't end the poll. What the hell, YouTube? Okay, all right, okay. So I'm going to say this. Ronaldo was complaining about me going live during his times because I was busy yesterday. But Ronaldo is on right now during my time. This is my time, Ronaldo. Now I can't send anybody to his channel when I'm done. Well, that just sucks. Why is Ronaldo on now? Oh, you're killing me, man. You're killing me. Okay, let me try to see if I can turn this off on YouTube. So let me turn the poll off here, okay? End the poll. I can't. Oh, there it is. I think I ended it. Yay, I ended. I had to go to the video. I couldn't do it in my studio. What the heck? Anyway, so it's over now. So the poll was 87% in favor of putting the plaque up. Okay, I will respond to popular demand. I don't usually do that, but I'll do that. Okay. So the plaque is back up by popular demand. Okay? See? You guys win, man. I don't always go with polls, but I'm going to go with the poll there today. Now, the problem is that people will just, take it out of context and attack you for whatever. But, going to get attacked regardless of what I do. Right. Okay. Maz, you're correct. It doesn't matter what people want me to do. The plaque is what I want to do. It's the same with what you don't see my awards up here. So, display proudly work. So, I did work hard for Lynette. All right, let's hit the like button, and it's time for the news. You guys ready for the news? And now for something completely different. Iran is attacking Qatar. Okay, that wasn't in the news when I went live. Let's go take a look and see if that's the case right now. News, okay. Hasn't shown up there. Must be on Twitter because it hasn't shown. Where's the blue bunny? The blue bunny's right here, man. Right here. He's also, he likes to pop around on the screen too. So let me see. What am I looking for? I'm looking for X. Okay, Gutter. Looking, Iran is bombing Qatar. There it is, Fox News.
6 missiles over United States bases in Qatar. I'm looking now, major cases of GPS jamming in Qatar and other Gulf states. Iran is bombing Qatar. Let's bring in now Chief National Security Correspondent Jennifer Griffin at the Pentagon. You and I started talking about this.
Sorry, I have no use for Jennifer Griffin. She professes to be a subject matter expert in national security, and she's just a talking head. Okay, thank you for that breaking news. Yeah, so none have landed. Well, it's up to Trump now. Iran has launched a war against America's interests. They were warned. Now it looks like regime change is on the wall, is on the way. I can turn back time. If I could turn back time. Colin de Bruin says, with the attack on Iran, I believe justified. What do you think, in your opinion, will be this? Well, I think it's all just been decided moments ago. Iran foolishly attacked our military bases in Qatar, and they've now precipitated a conflict. If there are no casualties and no missiles land on our base, and that's the extent of it, Trump will probably show restraint. If there's one American casualty, Iran will discover what the Stone Age looks like in the 21st century. Otto George Bosnia, 35. Please say Bond. Oh, I don't have a Sean Connery voice. Bond. James Bond. Shaken and not stirred. Nikki wants to be here already. And without power, Xavier's still got no power. President Trump is now in the White House Situation Room. Trump is now... Okay, thank you. Where is Qatar? It's Qatar. It's pronounced Qatar. It's Arabic. Don't ask me. But they transliterated to Qatar. People say Qatar. I used to say Qatar when I was younger, but it's Qatar. So, anyway. No, it's not the way Americans pronounce it. It's the way the Arabs pronounce it. I pronounced it for decades as Qatar because that's how it's spelled. But it's not Qatar, it's Qatar. They've closed their airspace. I would imagine so. Does that include missiles? Does that include missiles? We've closed our airspace to all but incoming missiles. Yeah, well, okay, so if the United States bombs Qatar, and sends it back, if the United States bombs Iran and sends it back to the Stone Age, then it will reach the same level of development of the ANC. No, it's okay, people. It's spelled weirdly and pronounced. Ooh, Natalie got passports today. Well, Oscar Mabuyane. Well, that dude is at it, man. He's here we go with the news, folks. A whole hour into the broadcast. Thanks for tuning in. All right, so here we go. Oh, my goodness. There we go. 34-day leave. He's taking a month leave in the midst of the death toll exceeding 100 from deadly floods. This guy's got his head up his rectum. Premier Oscar Mabuyane has taken 34 days of leave for family commitments as the province mourns 100 victims. Wow. His leave irked officials who had mixed views about its timing. In the aftermath of deadly floods that claimed the lives of 100 people, Eastern Cape Premier Oscar Mabuyane, African National Congress, has taken 34 days of leave, irking residents who said his timing was bad. In his absence, Finance MEC has officially been sworn in as the acting premier. Well, that shows you the dedication of the ANC. People are dead, people are dying, people are missing, and this clown goes on holiday. That's not what a leader does. That's what an appointed, useless, toady tool does. Leaders are needed, and they're present. Well, South Africa's agreed to another World Bank loan. Boy, all the punishment from the U.S. not stopping any of this World Bank money from getting South Africa. Oh, we're just targeting South Africa, according to the media. A bunch of liars. South Africa signed a $1.5 billion loan agreement with the World Bank aimed at overhauling its transport and energy sector and reigniting economic growth. This is in addition to a previously reported loan from the IMF. There you go. Wow, so much for the U.S. interdicting and stopping South Africa and targeting South Africa. Well, South African politicians are anxious about the conflict. Well, they should be, because Iran just raised the stakes. Anxious, South Africa urges dialogue to end Israel-Iran conflict. The South African government expressed concern over U.S. involvement in the Israeli conflict. Well, we expressed concern over the ANC's involvement with Hamas, the PLO, Iran, Beijing, and Moscow. What's your point? What's your point? 10 more South African National Defense Force soldiers arrested over the murder and kidnapping of a Hawks officer. Wow. Lieutenant Colonel Franz Matipa. 10 more South African National Defense soldiers were arrested Monday in connection with the murder of Lieutenant Colonel Franz Matipa. Hawks spokesman Lieutenant Colonel Christopher Singo said the 10 suspects handed themselves over the Hawks' serious organized crime investigation, Joburg. They're all SANDF members and face similar charges. They're expected to face the 2 soldiers who were arrested on Sunday. They charged of murder and kidnapping. He was fatally shot while driving on the N1 near Hammanskraal in August 2023 when the assassins pulled up next to him and opened fire. He'd been investigating the abduction of alleged ISIS leader Abdullah at the Mall of Africa and was looking into suspicions that South African military special forces were involved. So now it looks like South Africa's military is preying on its citizens, murdering its police. What the hell? What the hell? This is insane. This isn't a country. It's a banana republic. It's a banana republic. Your military is murdering police? What kind of country is that? That's not real. Speaking of not real, Operation Dudula, blocking foreign nationals from using clinics. Operation Dudula attempted to prevent undocumented foreign nationals, those are criminal alien invaders, accessing health care in Hillbrow, despite South Africa's constitutional guarantee of health care for all. The Gauteng Department of Health condemned these actions, urging respect for law and non-discrimination principle in health care. South African Human Rights Commission said no individual group had the authority to deny access to health care as it violated constitutional rights and might harm public health. Well, I agree. Treat them, then drop them at Bite Bridge. Treat them and drop them at Bite Bridge. Well, Julius Blame avows. Okay. Look, the guys. Okay, this is not The Onion. I'm not spreading fake news. I'm not making this up. This is real. Now, you may remember famously, I think it was in 2018 now, that the economic freedom fighters promised to build a school in the Eastern Cape. Yeah, after they elect, they're going to build a school. Remember that? Well, that's been 7 years ago. No school. Now he promises to build houses for the heroes who died in the bus crash. Malema vows to build houses for families of KZN bus crash victims. We are going to honor these 10 fallen heroes, each one of them with a house that has all the facilities. If there's no water in those yards, we'll make sure we put in boreholes so we restore the dignity of those families. We will build those houses and put in boreholes because we want to build permanent relationship with these families. Don't want to forget you and don't forget us. And in more news, the Social Research Foundation's latest poll of public opinion finds that the EFF has down to 3%. You can't make this stuff up. I got to make a video on this. It's too funny. Where is the school, Julius? Dude, your grift is over. The EFF grift is over. People aren't falling for it anymore. What a dingbat doorknob. The guy is as bright as a 2-watt light bulb. He's running around threatening the lives of President Trump and Elon Musk, wailing about being denied entry into the UK, who says he's racist. Oh, my goodness. This is not the 30% crowd. That's the 3% crowd. Gus, go take care of what you got to take care of. Saudi Arabia's under attack. What? What? Oh, well, that's not going to go over well. The Saudis won't take that very well. Well, I don't see anything. Well, it's all happening right now, folks. Iran is signing their own death warrant. Spurs reported Al-Assad Air Base in Iraq. Okay, well, there you go. Here we go. Welcome to the Stone Age, Iran. Your oil and gas facilities, your navy will be at the bottom of the the Arabian Gulf in a matter of hours. Oh my goodness. 2 soldiers killed in Qatar. Wow. If you're ever in a bad mood, just read the news about the FN. Yeah, it makes everyone laugh. You're right about that, Janine. Wow. Okay, well, let's not talk about him because he's not. Well, let's go from one idiot to another. Here's another one. Cyril Ramaphosa hails 30 years of constitutional court in a world with human rights under threat. Human rights are under threat by the South African regime. That's whose human rights are under threat. Landmark rulings by the court include abolishing the death penalty, ensuring access to HIV, and protecting pensioners and women's rights in customary marriages. No, thank you. A Ugandan imam who is links to ISIS was granted bail. Are you serious? A Ugandan imam, Abu Bakar Ali Kasakaya, accused of illegal firearm possession in South Africa, was granted a 5,000 rand bail. Why is he in South Africa? The state claims he holds a leadership role in the extremist syndicate linked to ISIS, but they gave him bail. What the hell is wrong with South Africa's government? This is a joke. You give him a 5,000 rand bail, yet the people who were falsely accused of terrorism at the Senegal protest in 2020 were given 50,000 rand bail. 5,000 rand for an ISIS-linked person. That is absolutely insanity. That's $277. What a joke. This is not a real country. American fighter jets are taking off. Okay, it's on, folks. The war is on. The war is on. I'm going to have to find some links here. Let me go real quick and see if I can't get YouTube, see if I can't get something going on here. Somebody's got to have live feed the news. Hudson Institute. Is he there now? Is Corney Mulder there now? The Hudson Institute is live, and I think Corney Mulder is going to be there. Wow, it's all happening right now, folks. This is crazy. Let me see if I can find Fox News or Sky. Flying Dutchman just gave 14 rand. Well, this is all. Here we go. What's this?
This is a Fox News alert. News from the President of the United States that there has been an attack in...
That's old. This is not live. It says Fox News Live. That's not live. That's not live. Wow. It's all happening now, folks. Iran is history. Yeah, they sang kill the boar at a funeral. Who sings kill people at a funeral? Yeah, it's insanity. So, Japan has not released a database showing vaccinated people die sooner with each dose. Well, we're going to skip that story. Israel, video show flashes, recorded sounds, and blast over Qatar. Here you go. There we go. We got it. So we got something on it. U.S. officials said an aerial attack had begun in Qatar about an hour after the Gulf nation that houses U.S. major military base said it had closed its airspace ahead of anticipated Iranian strike. Iran launched missiles at U.S. bases in Qatar, officials said, as videos filmed by residents in Qatar showed flashes and explosions. Israel continues to strike targets around, but is looking to end its war soon. The Iranian regime's clerical leaders faced a perilous choice: hit back at the U.S. or risk widening a war with two military superior foes. Well, not just that, they're risking a war with Saudi Arabia. They're risking a war with Saudi Arabia. The U.S. is now open to regime change, the White House suggests. President Trump and White House officials signaled that the administration is open to regime change after the United States bombed the country's nuclear facilities over the weekend. In a statement on Truth Social, Trump suggested Iran's government, which has ruled the country as an Islamic theocratic autocracy since 1979, could be toppled in the midst of more than a week of airstrikes. It's not politically correct to use the term regime change, he wrote, but if the current Iranian regime is unable to make Iran great again, why wouldn't there be regime change? Make Iran great again. Yeah, ever thought of making a competition poll? Yeah, I'm on par of the league. But there's so many options for that. So many. 3 impacts at the Al Udeid. Yep. Get your dehydrators going, Tony's. Get those jams and preservatives. Yep. Yeah, exactly. Rhino Girl, 50 rand. Al Jazeera is reporting live on the situation in Qatar. Okay. On YouTube or on Twitter, where's it at? Al Jazeera. Let me see if I can find Al Jazeera. Come on. Sky News. Let's see if Sky News has got it. Al Jazeera Live. Let's see what they've got. Al Jazeera Live. Here we see.
Dave's Field Communications.
Well, that's an ad. We don't need an ad.
Dave's Field Communications are all over.
The same ads, man. Skip. Al Jazeera.
Tehran's threat to retaliate against the U.S. strikes on the Iranian nuclear sites. That was on Saturday night.
I find her voice grating, very grating and condescending.
Arab Emirates is now closed as well. We understand that Bahrain is on high alert as well. They've urged their citizens and residents to use main roads only when necessary in light of recent developments and regional security.
Can anyone guarantee that this won't lead to World War III? You can't guarantee anything. There's a lot of stupid people in the world running countries. Charlie Kirk is covering. I don't listen to Charlie Kirk. Thank you, Mad Max. France News. Well, now finally people wake up. Look, there's a lot of explosions here, folks. A lot of explosions. This is in Doha. Yeah, a lot of explosions going on in the air. Let me see if I can get it up before it goes away, because they're focused on the sky. There you go. Those are all explosions. And there's the missiles going out to meet the air defense. Well, it's all going on right now, folks. Iran has stepped on their crank. It's the end of Iran. Iranians' armed forces, the Revolutionary Guards, attacked the American base and got it with devastating and powerful missile attack as part of Operation Blessings of Victory. Blessings of Victory. Wow. Okay. So the problem with reports of combat is initial reports tend to be incorrect. Okay. Someone said earlier there were 2 American casualties. Now we're hearing the no casualties. They don't need schools anymore. He's building them houses. Yeah, exactly. EFF. Yeah. So, well, Iran has poked the bear. Yep. Base was evacuated. No injuries reported. Well, yeah, it's over for Iran. Now there will be regime change. There will be regime change. Iran will return to the 21st century. Yeah, it probably sounds a lot more catchy in Arabic, that Operation Blessings of Victory. I hope Iran knows what they just did. Yep. Remember that most of the countries around them refused to get involved in this war. Exactly. A la toilet, flush down, flush the drain. Yep. To the Stone Age. Yep. There goes Iran to the Stone Age.
Seems like a coordinated attack on U.S. bases across the region, as promised by the Iranians, Mark, and they're calling this Operation Annunciation of Victory.
Okay, I think they did a Guy Fawkes night. Yeah, I suppose you could say Guy Fawkes night. That's for sure. This is crazy. Well, this sort of supersedes my news. But Putin condemns the strikes Iran, but stops short of offering concrete support. So Vladimir Putin condemned the attacks, but he offers no support. And that's no surprise. That's what I said would happen with Russia. They're not going to intervene. He met with Iran's foreign minister on Monday, but not explicitly call out Israel or the U.S. So that's exactly what Russia's going to do. They're in a very precarious spot. They can't defeat a third-rate military with one of the largest militaries in the world. After 3.5 years, they're still being stymied by a third-rate military power led by a grifter who's been scamming money from the United States and Europe. And so I don't think that Russia's in any position to intervene, which is what I said. China's not going to intervene. Putin says the strikes on Iran are pushing the world to the very dangerous line. I'm sorry. As if his invasion of Ukraine didn't push the world to a very dangerous line. Hypocrite, hypocrite, hypocrite. Emailing rat and pigeon recipes to Iran. Yeah, exactly. Can Iran really shut down the Strait of Hormuz? No, they can't. Iran can decide to close the vital maritime trade through which 1/5 of the world supplies every day, says this op-ed piece in Al Jazeera. But they're full of it. One way Iran can retaliate is to shut down the Strait of Hormuz, a vital trade route where 1/5 of the world's supply. How? How will they shut it down? You do realize there's a carrier strike group there, right? They do realize that, do they not? They think Iran has the ability to stop us? Oh, my goodness. The United States will obliterate their navy. And that's probably coming right now. Iran threatened to retaliate. Well, they're doing it right now after the attack on nuclear sites. They are retaliating right now. Iran has an oil card to play. So does the U.S. America's fracking revolution blunts dreaded oil chaos that could come from Iranian closure of the Strait of Hormuz. Once again, they cannot close the Strait of Hormuz. That's nonsense. They will pay a severe price. It would be a Pyrrhic victory for Iran, itself a major exporter, and would likely draw the U.S. further into the conflict. I need to change the live stream, what was going on here. Let me go back to that. And let me hang on a second here. That's not what I'm looking for. I want to change the title of this thing because now I want to put in here Iran Strikes Back. So that people find this now. They can come in here because now we've gone from the news to Iran. Iran Strikes Back. Okay, wow. Right in the midst of my live broadcast, the war starts. I don't know why would Iran think it would accomplish anything. Because they're stupid. They actually believe they're nonsense. They are stupid people. Just like Cyril Ramaphosa thought it was clever to go, have you met my white agriculture minister? Hey, well, we brought all the whiteys along, and it will take the president listening to the voices of South Africans. So he's not misled by the likes of AfriForum and Elon Musk. Not misled by AfriForum. Decision was made. AfriForum and Solidarity had not even been in contact with the Trump administration, had not even gone to the States. The stupidity of these people who are leaders is unbelievable. 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 Well, folks, it's all on now, isn't it? It's all on now. Wow. Crazy.
It's about 45, more than an hour ago now. Are we where your sources are telling you that we thought we'd be? Have we gone someplace that we're at least prepared to deal with?
Well, Harris, right now what we can tell from open source reporting on Twitter, you can see imagery of about what we're told from...
What we can tell from open source reporting on Twitter. This is the Pentagon expert. She might as well go to CNN. This is a news organization, and they're relying on Twitter and reporting as fact. Now, in this case, Twitter's become very reliable in that standpoint because people put things up, but there's no... Anyway. Now, you're going to say, but Chris, you bring Twitter stuff up. I do. I don't have multi-million-dollar, billion-dollar studios and teams of journalists all over the world. So that's their sourcing. And that's why I'm circumspect about that stuff. But that's what she said. Jennifer Griffin. Listen to this.
From open...
There you go. Jennifer Griffin.
At least prepared to deal with.
Well, Harris, right now what we can tell from open source reporting on Twitter...
What we can tell from open source reporting on Twitter. Okay. Yeah, that's CNN. But, I use Twitter, but I explain and I question it. But they're just running with it like it's a fact. This is Fox News. Fox News. Jennifer Griffin, the genius Pentagon expert. Never been. Keeping your hair short like that doesn't make you an expert on military affairs. Never been impressed with this lady. Always been purported to be a genius. Not buying it. Not buying it.
You can see imagery of about what we're told from Israeli sources are 6 ballistic missiles that have been fired from Iran towards Qatar. As you know,
Israeli sources are tracking missiles flying at Qatar from Iran. That's interesting. It's not impossible, but it is interesting. So, yeah.
We discussed the Al Udeid base, the largest U.S. Base in the Middle East, is about 40 miles from the capital.
All right. Well, it's all on now, folks. It's like watching CNN, yep.
The expected attacks on American air bases came Tuesday as more than a dozen ballistic missiles were fired into 2 major air bases in Iraq.
In Iraq. This is a report from, I don't know who that's from.
Housing American troops. No casualties reported.
Okay. There's Charlie Kirk.
There's more ballistic missiles right now launched at Bahrain. So it looks as if they're going after multiple targets. Based on reporting happening real time here on the program, it looks like the Qatar missile strikes were intercepted.
See, that's how I used to say Qatar, and I was corrected by Arabs. It's Qatar. Yep. Yeah, guys, I appreciate live feeds, but it's called copyright. You can't just play anything. Right Side Broadcasting has got it. Okay, hang on. So, hey, Paulie, sent you footage on WhatsApp. Okay, thank you. Somebody just became a member. Oh, that's Paulie's membership. Thank you, Paulie. He didn't just become a member. Okay. Open source. Okay, gotcha. Okay. Patriot battery engaging. Yeah, that's the one we saw on the screen there that they were showing. So this is a Patriot battery engaging. Let's take a look at that really quickly here. I need my screen here. There it is. See, those are Patriot missiles firing into the air, exploding, taking them out. one. Got another one. People just driving by on the road. Up, took out another one. All the explosions in the air are good. Dude, we don't need to see you going in the building. Don't need to see you go in the building. Here's more. And this is, what's this supposed to be? This is Patriots, yeah. Okay, that's the Patriots attacking too. Oh, you can see that one get hit. Check that out. That was awesome. Boom! Oh, destroyed. Oh man, oh man! That, you see that? That's taking out a Patriot right there in the air. Or a Patriot taking out the missile. Wow. Here's another one. Wow. There's the Patriots going up 3.
What the fuck?
4, 5, 6, 7. Wow. Man, I'll tell you what, Patriots saved my life. They did. I was at Dahran Air Base after the war started. I'd gone back from out in the desert to do a purchasing trip to buy some things for our unit. And I was staying on Dahran Air Base at the CG's quarters, his alternate quarters. And I was woken up by air raid sirens early in the morning. And I was sleeping on the floor, not on the bed, in my sleeping bag instead of a comfortable bed. And in the morning when we walked out, I could see that the Scud missile that was hit by a Patriot had lost its propulsion unit, and the bomb landed just a couple hundred yards from where I was sleeping. Yep. Wow. Is Cornet Mulder alive now? I had Cornet Mulder somewhere. Where was that? Hang on a second. I had him. Mises Institute. I think it was over here. Yeah, there he is.
South Africa is now governed by a government of national unity, but the ANC, which is the strongest party, represent 40% of the population, but they act as if they have a majority. That's a communist, socialist, Marxist.
So Theo de Jager's there, as is Cornet Mulder.
That's what it is. And they combine all of these things into their policy. They are busy driving South Africa towards a socialist state, and they mixed it.
Yeah, so yeah, I found that earlier before it went live. So it's been live now for 19 minutes, but they've only been talking for a few minutes. So Cornet Mulder, Theo de Jager, and Papenfuss are there. Yeah, so I knew that Theo de Jager was here. He contacted me, and then I didn't know that Cornet Mulder was coming with him, so that's interesting. Most of these missiles are intercepted. Yep. Must be terrifying to watch this above your house. It's crazy to stand there and watch it. No flights in or out of the gutter. Well, no doubt. There are CRAM systems. Nothing ever gets through. Most of these missiles are intercepted. I just want to make it clear that Theo does not represent me. Okay, why doesn't he represent you, Conrad? You want to explain why, since you've felt the need to tell us he doesn't represent you? Okay. That Twitter account links I sent you is the best source. Yeah, no, it's OSINT. Those guys, I don't know how they get those videos, but they do a good job of it. So let me just go to their channel, OSINT Technical. They did a lot of good coverage of the conflict in Ukraine as well, but they have not put any new videos up. Those are all the same videos. Yep. Yep. So that's all you've got for now is that. We'll keep refreshing that page and see if they add more videos, but that's all they've got for now. Thank you, Paulie. Sit up straight, gents. Yeah. Bad timing for the press conference. Everybody must be focused on the Middle East. Yeah, nobody's watching that. Yep. What a fitting name, Patriot, true to its home country. Yep. Twitter, now X. Yes, Merlot, but many of us still call it Twitter. Saudi Arabia, very happy with the plunging of oil prices. Oil-rich African states should not let this good crisis go to waste. I don't understand that, Pablo Charlie. That's Mr. Papenfuss, yes, the labor relations guy. Because nobody knows who Theo was until a few months ago, or more importantly, who votes for him. No, Arctic, I knew who he was years ago, because he's been so heavily involved in agriculture for such a long time. Hey, Xavier, YouTube is buffering badly. Yeah, I thought you had a power problem. Cycling Journeys is back? Okay. So, wow, folks, it's all going down right now. It's all going down right now. It's crazy. Let's see if we can't get some more feeds in here. Hang on a second. So
here as well, and obviously the Qataris have installed air defenses on all major installations as well, including the airport and other parts of this country. So yes, it appears on the map to be a small country, but it's a large area, and these strategically placed locations are away from population centers. And
okay, well, he's trying to explain what's going on in Qatar. Sky News.
He's also on high alert and was struck. They've said maximum alert status.
At Granger, we're for the ones who pay attention to every...
Adverts right in the middle of the broadcast. All live cams in those regions are down, cannot see live vids. Yep. Major case of GPS jamming in Qatar and other Gulf states, says Visegrad. Okay.
Just Qatar that was hit. The whole region is on edge, but also Iraq was hit. And I just want to bring in our Stuart Ramsey, who joins me now from northern Iraq, from Erbil, where there are a number of US bases. Stuart, we sort of anticipated when the United States hit the nuclear site.
Yeah, I was in the middle of giving you the news when big news breaks. Well, we cover the big news here, folks. We cover the big news. For those who are just tuning in, at this hour, Iran has struck back at the United States, attacking our bases in Qatar, whatever you want to call it. Also, apparently claims that U.S. bases in Iraq have been attacked, and Saudi Arabia, but no confirmation on any of those except for Qatar. That's the only one we've got confirmation of. Patriot missiles firing, appearing to successfully intercept those inbound missiles. Iran threatening to shut down the Straits of Hormuz. And with this, today, the 23rd of June, 2025, 46 years after they launched a war against the United States, the Iranian mullahs have signed their death warrant. A fatwa, essentially, is what they've just issued to themselves. They've issued a fatwa for the Iranian theocratic state. It's over, and it will be over very shortly. Well, I would expect that they'd be condemning the attacks coming from Iran. I would also expect the Saudis be condemning it, and I would expect to see that if any missiles land in Saudi Arabia, Saudi jets will start attacking, unless the Americans urge restraint, start attacking Iranian infrastructure. No more real journalism. What do you mean no more real journalism? What is that? Because the CNN stuff or the Twitter stuff? Iran is heavily involved in Russia's war in Ukraine. That's news to people. I don't know how they're involved in that. Interesting. The Dutch head of NATO claims that Iran is involved in Ukraine. Right Side Broadcasting didn't just go live. They've been live for some time. They came up earlier. Let me see what I've got here. Hudson Institute. That one, let me pause that Sky News one, and let me get to the Right Side Broadcasting. Dear Major Raising Cane, make it rain. It's General Cane. Okay, germ warfare. All right. Where is Right Side Broadcasting Network? Okay, live news stream. Let's get them and see what they've got to say. Okay.
Qatar condemns Iranian attack on the El Udeid base, calling it a blatant violation of its sovereignty and international law. Doha reserves the right to respond proportionately. The missiles were intercepted, no casualties reported. Qatar urges...
He's reading a tweet. That guy's reading a tweet. That's the news. They're reading tweets. Yeah, none of the other states want the ICRG there anymore. Yeah, they all want them gone. Thank you, Betts Corps, for your membership. Yeah, I'm looking to see if we got anything from the White House now, if there's anything coming from the White House, because that's what we need to see, a situation room from the White House. If, Charlie, so what if Charlie Kirk is live? I don't care about Charlie Kirk. He's not the smartest tool in the woodshed. He is a political operative. White House. I pulled him on earlier. He said nothing of any value. Nothing listing from the White House. No mention of him going live. Should be protected by the U.S. 100%. It's great kingdom. It is being protected. Visegrad reporting Iran fires missiles. Yeah, we got that already. Al Jazeera's live in Doha. Okay. Well, I'm on Al Jazeera, and there's a dude in Doha, but, I mean, he's not saying anything.
Closed its airspace. We've heard now
it's
and
the same
seen
news we've already heard.
These images of the missiles that were launched.
That's Al Jazeera. Oh, I'm sorry. That's Sky. I'm sorry. That's not Al Jazeera. Here's Al Jazeera.
The Iraqi forces and help combat ISIS in Iraq. But at the same time, we have been witnessing
These are all just talking heads. There's no coverage. There's no updates. There's no reporting from any ministries, from any foreign ministries. All we've got is Twitter post by the Qatari government, and we've got talking heads, you know, doing exactly what I'm doing. So, flight radar, a few planes. Yeah, let's go to flight radar. FLIGHT. Flight aware. Okay, let's go to flight aware. That's not what I want. Flight radar is what I want. 24. There we go. It's down. It's down. Flight radar 24 is down. Oh, too much traffic, man. Too much traffic. Let's see if we can load it. I'll try again. Everybody wants to see what's going on. Wow. It's because this happened during business hours in the U.S. and everybody, if they're off. Oh, here we go. It's back. There you go. There you go. Look at that. Look at that. No one's flying over Iran. And there's one plane over Qatar right now. Lots over the Emirates. Wow. Nobody over Iraq. Nobody over Syria. Wow. These are dead spaces. Crazy. Wow. I think I'm going to have to set up an account here for Flight Radar 24 just because I use it so much now. Bahrain says they're closing airspace, but there's a plane there. Who is that? FAD 513. What is FAD 513? That's a commercial flight. It's, wow. The world just denial of service on flight radar. Yeah, probably. Good evening. I wonder what Rama idiot feels about batting for the wrong team. Well, he probably doesn't care about batting for the wrong team. He's not very bright. Nolan Lancaster, thank you for subscribing. Yep. New York Times confirms pre-warning agenda free. Sorry, I am late again. I've been getting updates. Send in the ANC. Yep. Kirk the Schmirk. What is that? Oh, Charlie Kirk. Yeah. Okay. Send in Chuck Norris. I don't think that's going to help. Send in Tom Cruise. You guys are killing me. Yeah, that's crazy. Let me zoom in a little bit here. So let me zoom in. It's a little bit closer there. You can see it. A lot of planes on the ground in Bahrain, or in the air flying over Bahrain. Excuse me, a lot of planes right over Bahrain right now. That's crazy. Let's see what's going on with Bahraini airspace. Look at all those planes. They should get on the ground. Wow. This guy's out here all about, these are, wow. That's crazy. And Jenny Duplessis, thank you for becoming a member. Long living Mir. God. Wyatt Live. Where are other sources? News is old. Catch it live on Wyatt Live. Thank you, David Muller. Okay. All right. There could have been dialogue. I guess all bets are off. Yep, Winston, all bets are off. The Iranians have committed suicide. They've committed hara-kiri here. Yep. I'm sure everybody's talking about it now, guys, because people catching on. It's already hour old. The news is over an hour old at this point. I'm looking to see if the president is going to come live, and probably not until we do a response. Yeah, ETA, the U.S. response, probably later in the evening. And I suspect that it's going to go after government officials. So let's go back now to RSBN.
TV 24 seconds ago or a minute ago saying that Iran coordinated attacks on the U.S. airbase in Qatar with Qatari officials.
What? Iran coordinated with Qatari officials on the airbase? That's not going to go well for them if that's true. That is not going to go well for them. Wow. Okay, let me just see. We've got updates. OSINT, because the guy's reading tweets from OSINT, and I haven't seen any of these. Okay, remains of a Patriot interceptor that hit an Iranian missile. Okay. Erica just gave 7 Rand super chat. Thank you for that. Cool to hear it as your analysis. It happens live. Well, we do this for events. So here's a video. Again, this is coming OSINT technical. They're bringing it live, so I'm not even claiming credit for it right now, but I'll tell you where I got it from. There it is. This is what's remains of a, they say it's a Patriot that doesn't look like a Patriot. It looks like an Iranian missile. That was blown apart. That doesn't look like a Patriot. That looks like an Iranian missile. That looks to me like an Iranian missile, not a Patriot. Anyway, so that's up there. Oh, they're saying it's a PAC-3. Okay, maybe it is Patriot. Ministry of Defense announced that Qatari air defense has successfully intercepted a missile attack targeting the Al Udeid airbase. Thanks to God, the vigilance of the armed forces and the precautionary measures taken, the incident did not result in any deaths or injuries. The ministry reiterated that the airspace and territory of the state of Qatar are safe and that the Qatar armed forces are always ready to deal with any threat. Ministry of Defense advised citizens and residents to seek guidance and the latest developments from official sources. And that's it. There are no other, I'm looking, no other text or messages here from these guys. Yep. Yeah, everything else is over in 3 hours. So I don't know where people are showing these. It must be for people who are subscribed to the channel that are paying. It must be behind a paywall. I'm not going behind a paywall. They don't provide enough information for me to help me out. Right. Okay. So, folks, it's on like Donkey Kong. The Iranians have screwed the pooch. They have retaliated against the legitimate U.S. attack on their nuclear program after they failed to negotiate. Gotta love how people just know we're filming this show. Yeah, exactly. I would be nowhere near that. That thing could explode. Stupid people. What would one nuke do to Iran? One nuke? Well, it depends what sort of nuclear weapon you're talking about, Giannis. A hydrogen bomb? Oh, that would be bad. Kindly give a flash summary update. I just joined the stream. Sure, I can do that, Natasha. About an hour and a half ago, reports came in that Iran fired missiles at U.S. air bases in Qatar, and that Patriot missiles had intercepted them. Someone reported that 2 American soldiers were killed. That's been corrected. No casualties, no injuries. In addition, there are reports that the Iranians have fired missiles at U.S. bases in Iraq and Saudi Arabia, but no independent confirmation of that. At this hour, the president is meeting in the Situation Room. That's the latest information we had on that. And Iran has screwed the pooch. They could have walked away, stayed in charge, but this will lead to the overthrowing of the theocratic, fascist, Islamo-fascist regime of the mullahs, which has terrorized Iran and the world for 46 years. They started this war in 1979, attacking the American embassy in violation of the Vienna Conventions and holding American diplomats hostage for 444 days. They started this war. They were behind the bombing of the Marine barracks in 1983 in Beirut during a peacekeeping mission to protect Lebanese. They were behind countless attacks and murders of American citizens, American military, IEDs in Iraq. They are an illegitimate fascist Islamist regime that must find their way to Hades. And they have just ensured that the path for them is Hades. God bless the Iranian people, who are legitimate people who have no quarrel in this. But what has been brought about now will be the dismantling of the state. I'm not sure how the U.S. government will go about this. I'd hope that no casualties. President Trump might show restraint. But of course, if he shows restraint, he'll be depicted by New York Times, the Washington Post, and BBC as weak. If he attacks, he'll be considered a warmonger. He cannot win. He must make the right decision, regardless of polls, regardless of public opinion. And the right decision is the excising of this fascist Nazi regime from the body politic. And they must be prosecuted for crimes against humanity. Yep. Houtman, a beer, a sunflower, and a thumbs up. £5. Thank you for that. They have no clear leaders in Iran to take over. In Iran, just pissed its neighbors off, and it's never going to go well. No, you're right, Heinrich Schwange. It's not going to go well for them. Not going to go well for them. Jacqueline just gave 35. Maybe we should just send Juju and EFF. Yeah, they should go there. They show affinity with them. Made hydrogen bombs every month. Hydrogen, cracked ammonia. Whoa, that's crazy, Chris. Wonder if there will be a refugee program for Iranian citizens. We already have Iranian refugees. We have over 800,000 Iranians who fled Iran and came to the United States in the 1970s. Going to be a long night for Iran. Yes, the country will look very different in the morning. The dumb republics on this earth are the reason for this. It's no coincidence that kingdoms thrive and republics fall, says Pablo Charlie. Cyril is sweating at this hour. Yep, Iran has been asking for crap for a while now. If you look for crap, don't get a fright when you find it. Exactly. 1,300 watching. We have over 1,000 likes. Thank you for that, folks. I appreciate you being here. We're continuing live coverage of the events unfolding in the Middle East as Iran has launched a war against American interest in the region, attacking U.S. military base in Qatar and also purportedly attacking U.S. bases in Iraq and in Saudi Arabia. Kane gave a 14 rand. Enjoy a Royal Crown Cola on me. Well, thank you for that, RC Cola. What's good enough for other folks just ain't good enough for me and my RC. Folks, this is crazy. And this announcement, this advert is unpaid, and it's just for your enjoyment. Watch this.
Trading got you feeling like this? Losing your fur and your crypto? Yeah, manual charting is a beast. Makes you want to smash stuff. But wait, what's this shiny new toy? Could it be? One tap, screenshot, I trade. Go. Magic box does the work. Boom. Support, resistance, patterns. Even a Yeti gets it. Suddenly, green candles everywhere winning, like a boss Yeti. Gronks making bank, snowballs stacking sats. The whole cave is rich.
Yes.
Stop raging, start trading smarter. Download iTrade AI Trading Assistant. Yeti approved, not financial advice.
And I'll get the specifics on all of the letters there, but it is definitely the Islamic Republic leadership of Iran decided that they're going to use the Iranian air force there and attack some U.S. bases or a U.S. base.
We have no independent confirmation that any Iranian aircraft are flying in that region. That's interesting. Yeah, that's from Daniel Barnard, one of his applications. He writes apps. Would be a good time to invest in oil. Well, the prices are dropping, so no, the prices are rising. It's the footage of Allah in his cave. If you stir the pot, you have to lick the spoon. Yep. Scariest thing is our government is in bed with these people. You're right, Lindy. That's a scary thing. Does that trading app come with a Yeti? Yes, it does, Verna. You get your own Yeti. They're shipped directly to your house from Take-A-Lot. Come on. All right, let's go back to some of the live feeds and see what they're saying. Let me get rid of this. This is stupid. Over here. Iran confirms missile attack on U.S. military base in Qatar. Yep. Now, all the news have now reported it in the last 20 minutes. None of them have reported until 20 minutes ago. U.S. military presence. Iran launched multiple missiles against American military bases in the Middle East Monday in retaliation for the strike against the nuclear facilities. At least 10 missiles were launched towards Qatar and 1 missile launched towards Iraq. The Iran Supreme National Security Council released a statement confirming the attack and claiming the number of missiles fired was equal to the number of bombs the U.S. used in its strike on Saturday. Well, that's not true. We fired 75 precision-guided missiles and munitions, and I haven't heard about 75 precision-guided munitions here. I've heard about 10. The base that was targeted in the attack by the powerful Iranian forces was far from urban facilities and residential areas in Qatar. The action does not pose any threat to our friendly and brotherly country, Qatar, and its noble people. Now, how do you fire missiles into a country to attack a country and claim it poses no threat to that country? Missiles have guidance systems that fails. Missiles that go off target and hit places. Oh my goodness. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps earlier released a statement claiming it had launched a devastating and powerful missile attack against the Al Udeid air base in Qatar. This base is headquarters of the Air Force and the largest strategic asset of the U.S. territory army in the West Asia region. Iran will not leave any attack on its territorial integrity, sovereignty, and national security unanswered under any circumstances. Well, unlike Iran, we do. And Israel let themselves be attacked in October of 2024 with 180 missiles and did retaliate. But now the full wrath of the 21st century is coming to the Stone Age that will be Iran. The Foreign Ministry of Qatar issued a statement saying that the air defenses thwarted the attack and successfully intercepted the Iranian missiles with no injuries or deaths. They frequently act as an intermediate for diplomatic talks in the region, condemn the Iranian attack, and call for return to the negotiating table. Well, we'll see how President Trump responds to this provocation. Colin DeBrune, thank you for 14 Rand. Makes my previous question moot. I missed your previous question. So sorry about that. Iran says it launched an attack on U.S. troops at the Al Udeid air base in Qatar. U.S. and United Kingdom embassies in Qatar had earlier released statements recommending citizens shelter in place until further notice. Qatar shut down its airspace temporarily as part of measures taken to ensure the safety of residents and visitors. Country with the most U.S. troops include Qatar, Bahrain, Kuwait, UAE, and Saudi Arabia. These installations serve as critical hubs for air and naval operations, regional logistics, intelligence gathering, and force projection. Al Udeid is the largest U.S. military base in the Middle East. Back in 1996, it was established. It covers 60 acres. It accommodates 100 aircraft and drones, and it houses 10,000 troops. It's a forward headquarters for U.S. Central Command. It's been key to operations in Iraq, Syria, and Afghanistan. Yep. So that's what's going on at this hour, folks. It is all on in the Middle East. The Iranians didn't get the message. How many countries will get involved in your opinion? Wesley, I think that it depends. I think Qatar may show restraint, not get involved. Saudi may show restraint. Iraq will show restraint. So at the moment, I think it'll just be the United States and Israel that continue. But Israel is looking at wrapping up their campaign here in the next week. Now they may change their plans. CNBC TV is live in Qatar. Okay, DJ Trump has an obligation to protect every country with 10,000% capacity. I'm not really sure what that means. Brian Lawrenson says, what mind? I don't know. What a time to be alive, says Kathleen. Yeah, it's a crazy world, isn't it? President Trump and his team best for this. Yep. Which war America ever win, if I can ask? Which war? Well, Ruben, let's see. The Revolutionary War, the War of 1812, the Mexican-American War, the Civil War, the Spanish-American War, the First World War, the Second World War, the Gulf War, the Second Gulf War, the war in Afghanistan. I mean, what do you mean, which wars America ever won? We've won lots of wars. What are you talking about? Do you not know history? I think it's time for President Trump to send in Delta Force. Yeah, I think that's the best response would be to simply go get the people who've committed crimes against humanity and take them out with special operations instead of bombing around to the Stone Age. Colin DeBrune, thank you for your membership. What was U.S. response would be if attacked? Huh? The sentence doesn't make sense. What is the U.S. response if attacked? Well, we've been attacked, so we'll see what the response is. If there's no American casualties, then it may be muted, but Trump may show restraint. All but Korea, Vietnam, war on drugs, and war on terror. Well, we've won the war on terror, Arctic. That's a very disingenuous assessment there. Or not disingenuous. That's incorrect, I should say. You're not being disingenuous. You're being incorrect. The war on terror has been won. Absolutely. You people are unaware of the thousands of terrorist attacks that have been thwarted. It's a war that would never end because you can't end terrorist intent. They're out there. So if you think the war on terrorism was about obliterating Al-Qaeda, and that's what the war is about, you're wrong. The war on terror is about Abu Sayyaf, Al-Qaeda, the Irish Republican Army, Libya, Pagad, any terror group. So that war will never end. It's not really a war. It's taking on the terrorists. So the war on terror has not been won. You're wrong. It's not a fact. Not a fact. Thousands of attacks have been thwarted. That's why it should never have been called a war. Well, congratulations to 2CTV. Lucky him. I guess it's good to be an Iranian. Oh, we're not planning on putting boots on the ground in Iran. We don't have to put boots on the ground to hurt them. ISIL names countries as provinces till this day. They are alive and well. We've seen this at the Syrian Orthodox Church. No, they're not. They're not. They've been obliterated. A couple idiots claiming that their ISIS is not the same. If I ask, why is it that everyone always watches U.S. response to every quarrel? I don't know, Daniel. Probably because we're the biggest bully on the block, Yeah, I'm going to need more Starbucks tonight. Iran decided it will be a good idea to poke the bear. Yep. Is there something in Israel's laws preventing them from taking out the Supreme Leader? I think they just decided that he's probably going to be a martyr if they take him out. To me, so if we go back to bin Laden, so Osama bin Laden, the people are like, go get him, go get him, go get him. And I'm like, no. And like, why? I'm like, because if you get him, if you capture him alive and try him, oh my gosh, the terror attacks, the attacks are going to be endless. He becomes a martyr. If you kill him in a military operation, he becomes a martyr. Let him die slowly of kidney failure in a cave in Afghanistan. And that's what they did for years. And then when he was nearly dead, they went after him because Obama wanted a publicity stunt. We got Osama bin Laden. And by then, he had no impact and no one cared. He wasn't exactly Che Guevara anymore. So that was okay. But my argument in the first 5 to 10 years after that, of that nonsense, was simply just let the guy die in a cave. We had cut off his arms. We had eliminated all his communications capability, could not direct his ISIS, or not his ISIS, his Al-Qaeda network. So he was just an idiot in a cave on dialysis. Yep. If you still claim everyone comes here now for news, well, I wish people come here now for news. It'd be nice if we had 1 million people, because that's 2 people trying to tell people to go to 2CTV. Look, if your 2CTV is so great, then just go watch it. Go watch it. Okay? They gave a warning and did a weak attack. Is this a sign of just a face-saving gesture to enter a peace deal? It's an interesting analysis, David, but I don't think so. If it had just been a face-saving measure, they wouldn't have attacked 3 different locations. Now, we have confirmation of Iraq now and of Qatar, but no confirmation of Saudi Arabia. So that may have just been sirens based on what's happening in neighboring Bahrain. So, and Qatar. So I don't know. It's a good analysis though. I like that. That's a possibility. That's absolutely a possibility. Yep. Absolutely a possibility. I like that. So Colonel, we get that Israel and USA will stand together. In your view, which countries might pose a threat standing with Iran? Well, Hamas isn't a country. They control a region of the Palestinian Authority. Chris is still here. Thank you. Chris will get us all info need. Okay. The U.S. added numerous cartels to the terror list. So how come the war on terror has been won? Oh, because people are changing the definition of it, Pablo Charlie. Just like there were no weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. That's a lie. There were weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. They fired them into Kuwait when the offensive began in 2003. They fired dozens of Scud missiles. Those are weapons of mass destruction which were banned. They're chemical capable, and they were banned. And they're actually, you could probably put tactical nukes on them too. But anyway, they don't have tactical nukes. But they were banned. The United Nations banned those. So the argument that Iraq never had weapons of mass destruction is a fallacy. Just like the war on terrorism has never been won is a fallacy. The fact that the government refuses to end the campaign because they keep changing it for their own purposes doesn't mean it wasn't achieved. Al-Qaeda is not a threat to the United States that it once was. That's what went after. Abu Sayyaf is not a threat to the Philippines government as it once was. The Irish Republican Army is no longer a threat. Anyway, so it's a matter of semantics. If you want to say the war on terrorism has never won, fine. Fine. I guess the war on slavery was never won either, but apparently we did win that. Do you think World War III will happen? No, I don't. Why is everybody obsessed with World War III? Who's going to fight? You think the Chinese are going to risk their factories to fight over Iran? That's ludicrous. You think the Russians can't even beat Ukraine. Who are they going to attack other than nuclear weapons? And they're not going to do that. They have no ability. There's only one military in the world that has force projection capabilities to reach anyone in the world at any time. And it's pretty obvious who it is. It's the United States. Canada can't do it. United Kingdom can't do it. Their Navy's a joke. There's like 6 people in their Navy. Australia can't do it. There's like 3 people in their Navy. New Zealand can't do it. There's like nobody in their Navy. Unbelievable. There's only one country in the world that can project its power. These other countries can't do that. That doesn't mean they can't cause problems and chaos. The Chinese could be little turds in the South China Sea or in the Straits of Malacca. Absolutely. The North Koreans could be idiots and attack, launch attacks against South Korea. Absolutely. But World War III? No. People need to stop believing fake news. It's all the fake news keeping people riled up. Exactly right, Joey. Oh, sorry, the South African Navy. Yes, the 23 people in the South African Navy who weigh a combined 17,000 kgs between them. Yep. U.S. is not expected to respond to Iran's failed attack. Okay, well, there you go. So, like I said, the options are President Trump shows restraint. And then what Fareed said a short while ago, maybe it's a ploy by Iran to save face and now come back to the table. That could very well be the case. I like that analysis. That's reasonable analysis. I'm guessing with surgical strike, the intel must be spot on to strike the right targets. Besides undercover agents in Iran, do you think there will be actual spies impeding deep within the Iran regime? Well, Tony Salyers, all you have to do is pay for commercial satellite technology and you can see where the base is. They don't need great intelligence networks. Max Air, you can go get the infantry. It's there. You don't need to be great. You don't need spies on the ground in this day and age. Auntie Floyd needs coffee. South African Navy can't do it. They don't have a Navy. It's not a country. It's proxies, Hamas, Hezbollah, Al-Qaeda, Al-Shabaab, Boko Haram, Ansar. Well, Boko Haram is not a proxy for Iran. Al-Qaeda is not a proxy for Iran. Al-Shabaab is not a proxy for Iran. Ansar al-Islam is, and Hamas and Hezbollah are, as are the Houthis. U.S. won the objective. They came in for the war against terror. We can argue the cost, but the objective was won. Thank you, Saida Farkhana. That's my point. So we can have a semantics argument, but we won. Yep, I'm guessing with surgical... Okay, what else we got here? I was just wondering which countries were Iranian allies. Oh, okay, Pierre. They don't really have any allies. People say China and Russia are their allies, but there's no evidence of that. Best to me, no TV can give me this info. Okay. South African Navy currently has no working dinghies. Yeah. Always live. He needs his own live webcam. Imagine if I had a webcam here. Our too weak for anything. The market understands the Iranian bluff against Qatar, and the price of the barrel of oil dropped sharply. Russia will never attack Israel. They have 1.5 million Russian Jews. Yeah, fair point. American officials said the U.S. does not expect to respond. Southern Navy, row, row, row your boat. Here was Iran's president went to Russia to discuss their foreign minister went. Their foreign minister was there. He met with Putin yesterday, or today, actually. He met with him today. Yeah, that's a true story. It actually happened. Let me go to OSINT and see if they've uploaded anything new. Crude oil prices have dropped like a rock. Yeah, there you go. Look at this. Look at this. The crude oil prices have dropped almost 5% in the last hour. Yep. So this is contrary to conventional wisdom. You would expect them to go up, wouldn't you? But they've dropped almost 5% in the last hour. I'm trying to find my darn... Come on. There it is. There you go. Look at that. From $76.50 down to $69.39. Dropped $6. Look at that. Oh, that's August 2025. That's not right. Oh, that's futures. I'm sorry. That's future oils. That's August. Okay, sorry. That's the futures. That's why it says August 2025 at the top. Those are futures. That's the spot market for futures. Now, that's misleading. Absolutely catastrophic news for Russia today as oil tumbles. Well, not just for them. The Iranian ballistic missile attack tonight was aimed at domestic audience. Iran informs the targets that they would be attacked hours in advance, fired roughly a dozen missiles, and then immediately declared victory. There you go. And that's good analysis from OSINT, which is what Faure also said. It's good analysis. And I said Trump could exercise restraint. Otherwise, they've signed the death fatwa for Iran. Well, looks like Trump is not going to bite. Not going to bite. Some news reported Iran moved uranium to a secret location before the attack. If I understand that Iran sent 6 missiles to U.S. base, why so little if they want to send a message? Well, they claim they sent more. Good evening. I have family in Bahrain. My sister's staying in Hamallah, 5 kilometers from base. She's currently on her way home. Oh, okay, young bakers. Thank you for sharing that. Hopefully she gets home safely. It's beyond me as well how people walk around with World War III on their lips. I'm thinking to myself, what the heck, people? What's wrong with you? You want World War III? Yeah, well, I mean, what's wrong with people? Because there are no antagonists to create a World War III. It's just silly. All must be calm. No World War III. Europe, Canada, UK, and New Zealand are worthless. Agreed, Anita. Clarence says, what is South Africa going to send to the Mediterranean wooden canoes? Yes, Louis. Jan van Riebeck's Navy was larger in 1652 than South African Navy. Saw South troops in the Free State, ran past my parents' house with an ambulance behind them. Well, South African troops apparently are busy murdering police officers. At least 10 of them, 12 of them. How long will it take to get to Iran by bus? For someone who was found guilty of felonies and found liable for sexual abuse and fraud, not war with Iran. Oh my God, Amber, you're such a troll. You're such a troll. You didn't vote for him. Stop lying. And he's not found guilty of felonies. And he wasn't found guilty of sexual abuse. He wasn't found guilty of fraud either. That's a fraudulent conviction, which will be overturned. Yep. The power going off tonight. Anyway. Yeah, apparently Amber would prefer to be nuked. Exactly right. Let's get live updates here.
Europe and conflicts across the world. So that's partly what we do as well as we continue to monitor what's going on right now. So let me go to X as well, and I'll go to Truth Social here
X.
And just double check that the president hasn't.
Yeah, that's exactly what I do. These are broadcast networks. They're doing what I do from my home. They're doing what I do from my home. Gosh, you know, the major media, that's what they're stuck with. 2 hours ago, before the attacks occurred, Trump posted, did I hear former President Medvedev from Russia casually throwing around the N-word, nuclear, and saying that he and other countries would supply nuclear weapons to Iran? Did he really say that, or is it just a figment of my imagination? If he did say that, and if confirmed, please let me know immediately. The N-word should not be treated so casually. I guess that's why Putin's the boss. By the way, if anyone thinks our hardware was great over the weekend, far and away the strongest and best equipment we have, 20 years advanced over the pack, is our nuclear submarines. They're the most powerful and lethal weapons ever built and just launched 30 Tomahawks. All 30 hit their mark perfectly. So in addition to our great fighter pilots, you can thank the captain and the crew. Trump, he hasn't said anything about this. So hang tight, folks. We'll see what Trump's got to say about this. Oh, that's frozen. What's going on there? Yeah, anyway, so, wow, what a crazy day. I like the analysis that Faure put up earlier. Good stuff. And I I kind of agree with what he said. But I stick by my point. If Iran had caused casualties and Trump didn't show restraint, then they would have just signed the death statement. Oh, Greta Thunberg. Well, thank goodness she's on the scene. Is Greta Thunberg coming? Wow, I cannot get this stupid thing to come up. New window. YouTube is not playing nice. Let's try another one here. YouTube is not playing nice. I get YouTube is probably the internet's being broken right now. I can't even see if I'm still live. That's crazy. Could you guys comment if I'm still live in the chat? Because I can't see anything. It's not loading. It's not loading. Come on. What the heck is going on here?
Having said that, there are reports already that as part of a precaution in terms of trying to defend the bases that are currently being considered vulnerable, in addition to the one in Qatar, we know that there have been...
See, this is the problem. You get people that don't know anything about this. She talked for a minute and didn't say anything. Talk for a minute, anything. Let's go to Sky News.
Of unintended consequences is always absolutely huge. You cannot guarantee when you fire ballistic missiles at an airbase that you're not going to kill anyone. And
that's exactly what I said. The Iranians are saying, that these are fired at the military base. They're not targeting the civilian populations. Guidance systems go bad. Missiles fail. Propellant fails, and they fall on civilians and kill people. So what a bunch of nonsense. What a bunch of nonsense, the Iranians. This is a very dangerous escalation on their part, whatever their objectives are. Very dangerous. The White House still doesn't have any live broadcast set up. Thank you guys for telling me I'm still live. I appreciate the Africana Perspective is still going on at the Hudson Institute.
Signatories to the Genocide Convention, notwithstanding that they didn't arrest ICC indicted Omar al-Bashir when he was in South Africa, etc. So the double standards are stark, as I said. Tio, you have a strong membership in Zimbabwe. And I very briefly wanted to ask you about the situation there. The Zimbabwe example is sometimes invoked when people talk about expropriation in South Africa. But what is happening in Zimbabwe right now with the land issues up there?
In a few minutes. we have this network of farmers elsewhere in Africa too. And just on the previous question, for quite a while now.
So that's still live, and that's having a big impact. 470 people actually watching that, so that's pretty impressive given all that's happening. Let me go look and see if anything else comes up. Guitar here, or gutter. Okay, nope, nothing new. Nothing new there. So let's get back to the live feeds and see if anybody's got anything useful. Let me go to, I need a YouTube feed here, so go to home YouTube. Federal judge ordered Trump to rebuild Iranian nuclear sites. Well, I'm not surprised. Yep. Okay. Not much there. Okay, I heard this was all saving face by Iran. Yep, no, that's what people are saying. You are live, but the Iranians are working on it. Yeah, they're trying to put me down. Give Greta a greasy bacon burger and a V10 Hummer. Trump has a lot on his shoulders. South Africa created the most futuristic missile ever. They call it the wheel. Yes, I know, Gene. Corny Mulder's live. Yep, Gene, we've already covered it. That's the third time we've cut to that with the Hudson Institute. I'm aware that Corny Mulder's here and Theo Diago here. I'm trying to set up a meeting with them. I find it fascinating that all these South Africans come to the States and they don't rent cars. How do you come here and not rent cars? I don't get that. At least Out Reform and Solidarity rented a car so they could meet me halfway. I mean, it's a lot for me to go to D.C. 3 of my friends got beaten to a pulp by police in a holding cell and put there for made-up charges. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Please watch Amir. Who the hell is that? Who the hell is Amir? Amir. Where'd it go? Please. Oh, there's Safar. That's a weird, strange name. Oh, there is Safar Fati. Who the hell's that guy? Okay. Behold Israel. Never heard of him. Got 1 million subscribers. He's live.
Hello everyone, I'm Amir Tsarfati and I'm live.
That's not live. That's recorded. It's 57 minutes. What a crock. He has no live broadcast. Why do you want me to watch him? He's not even live. Who's the other one you want to watch? Never heard of the guy. Amir Tsarfati. Where'd it go? CBN, Christian Broadcasting Network. CBN News. There it is, CBN News. CBN. Never heard of it.
On the next 700 Club.
It is a Christian Broadcasting Network, so I have heard of it. There's also nothing live. Oh, there's live. Live. Okay, here it is.
My name's Alicia.
Hi, Alicia. A real patient. Let's skip Alicia.
I doubt it was a torn meniscus. So having the knee...
Live. That's a commercial. Okay, there's nothing there. Nothing there. Flight aware. Okay, hang on a second. Let me reload this page and see if it reloads. Okay. Sky News is showing weather now. They're off the topic. Here's Al Jazeera again.
We've seen it before, and we've seen how it has a ramification. And we see one war leading to another war, to another war. And so this continues. And it will probably expand. And now Trump has no choice. I mean, what is he going to do? Either he will do what he did with Soleimani and say, okay, fine.
Okay, so this guy doesn't agree with Fauri and with me. Trump has no choice. Trump has a choice. He can show restraint. But a key, I said, is no dead Americans. Dead Americans would put Trump in a tough spot. Dead Americans would have put him in a very difficult spot. But since there's no dead Americans, Trump has choices. He can show restraint here. He can show restraint. This guy doesn't know what he's talking about. Trump has no choices. I agree with Fauri from earlier. Oh, here's Tio still talking.
2 years ago, they said they would pay the farmer in government-backed bonds.
Oh, that's Zimbabwe again. It's nonsense. Listen to that. Anyway, yep, flight radar is down again, folks. Look at that. So many people are checking it. It's down. So why pay for a subscription every time you need it? It's down. It's kind of like back a buddy. See what Malema said? I did see that Malema said he stands with Iran. I'm on pins and needles on what President Trump is going to say. After all, the only ones, you're right. The only one that counts is Trump. And there's a super chat. Thank you, Danny Pinavold, for the 50 Rand super chat. Oh, 250 Rand, sorry. National Forces are useless. I can't remember when the real men did 2 years in the National Service. That's been a while ago. And Napoleon Dynamite's. Oops, why did we get past Napoleon there? How do we get past that? Come back here. I must be way behind. Yep, I got that already. Okay. House of Representatives officially bans the use of WhatsApp on all official devices. Really? That's because people are leaking things. You're live on your WhatsApp, says Rhino Girl. Okay. Nope. Nope. Maybe this is it here. Why would Israel bomb Lebanon? Well, because Lebanon presents a threat. That's why. I don't see anything there. So people saying they sent to me. Somebody sent me a note and apologized for mentioning other channels. Guys, you can mention other channels. It's just that what the point is that why are you doing that? what's the point of doing that? People keep mentioning channels. It's no need to apologize. It's no malice, and I didn't take it as malice. In fact, again, my point is if someone finds content better elsewhere, then go watch it. Go watch it. You don't have to watch my content. And I'm not saying that the people who said it, but I mean, it is bad form to promote other channels when a content creator is covering something, but it's fine. AFTV has live feed. It's nuts. Everyone is watching this with Hawkeyes. Okay. AFTV. I have no idea what AFTV is. See, these channels I never heard of. I don't watch this stuff. You guys are all in the know. You know everything. AFTV. Never heard of it. 73,000 people watching it. Well, what are they broadcasting? 73,000 people. It's a football network. There aren't 73,000 people watching this. They do have a lot of subscribers. All right. Anyway, no, guys, you can mention what you want on the air. I just, it's fine. If I came across as being defensive, it's my apologies. That was not my intent. My point was just, it's just bad form. That's all. I still can't get to my studio. Let's see if I can get it now. It looks like it's going to work finally. Okay, hang on. Couldn't get to it before. It just was down. YouTube got lots of problems. Probably because YouTube has got a lot of people watching right now too. Everyone's tuning into YouTube right now. All right, I'm back now. I finally got my studio back after a long time. Okay, so thank you. Yep, so we got 1,200 people here right now. Okay, is it true Malema wants South Africa to send... I think President Trump is sick and tired of this BS. I definitely think he's going to change the regime. Possibly. I read now that the base in Iraq was actually hit. Okay, I haven't seen that. Which is the opposite here. You'd rather pay a taxi because Uber is damn expensive. Yeah, Uber, I've had lots of problems with Uber over the years, so not a big fan. Just so you all know, any refugees going to U.S. from the Middle East will be getting jabs. Amir Safari is a former IDF officer and a Christian from Israel. He got a YouTube channel, Behind Israel, mostly news. Thank you for explaining that. See, I don't know who he is. MBCBS. Thank you very much. Thank you for sharing that. Go watch it and leave us to listen to the Colonel. Check it out every once in a while. Also very helpful. Thank you. I don't know what ILTV is. And Erica says Iran is attacking. She's given an X. Sky News. Okay, well, we've got that already, Erica, but thank you for the 70 Rand. Yeah, that's the feed we've already done. I've already done that Sky News feed. Thank you for that. As long as Israel can keep the rate that we are now, give the Iranian people time to regroup. How long did you serve? 36 and a half years, Francois. Francois Hartenberg, I served 36 and a half years in the Army. 34 in active duty, 2.5 in the reserve component. Enlisted in the Army in June of 1983. Entered the Army on November 2nd, 1983. And served until April of 1987 in the Signal Corps, and then went back to university where I enlisted in the National Guard, the Ohio National Guard, served there for 2.5 years before I came back in active duty in September of 1989. And from September 1989 until September or to October of 2019, I served on active duty. I rose from the rank of private to sergeant to lieutenant to full colonel. I served 23 of my years overseas with tours, 3 tours in Germany and Bad Kreuznach, in Gelnhausen, Hanau, and finally Stuttgart. I served in Italy, in Vicenza. In Africa, I was stationed in Tunisia, Liberia, Botswana, Malawi, Niger, Mauritania, Uganda, and Ethiopia. And I was an intelligence officer, a tactical intelligence officer, a counterintelligence agent, a signals intelligence officer, and a strategic intelligence officer. I worked at the Pentagon, at the Defense Intelligence Agency, at the Army War College, at the National Security Agency, at the European Command, at the Africa Command. I was a guest lecturer at G5 Sahel Defense College, the first one ever. I was a lecturer at the Nigerian War College, a guest lecturer. I taught at Iowa State University, and undergraduate and postgraduate at the Army War College. I'm a published author in academic circles, and I speak 6 languages to varying degrees of proficiency. And I've visited or worked in over 80 countries at this stage. Yep. So did I answer your question? Thank you for your question. I forget that a lot of people come in here and don't really know who I am. Great to watch your stream and get your insight. What is happening? You have more real knowledge than 99.9%. Yep, exactly. As long as Israel can keep at it. Well, that guy was in the IDF probably knows what he's talking about that you guys were talking about a few minutes ago. Well, I've never heard of. So, Francois, that's my answer. What's your response? Chris is becoming everyone's personal AI. What's going on with American people burning the farms? There's no farms being burned here. What are you talking about? What implications would closing the Strait of Hormuz? It would be bad, Shawnee. That's a good question. The closing the Straits of Hormuz would be devastating economically to Europe, to Japan, to China, and therefore it's not going to happen. China will not allow Iran to get away with that. They will tell them not to do it. Second, if the Iranians move to shut down the Straits of Hormuz, the United States Navy will sink their entire fleet. So all they'll be able to do is fire missiles, and we'll target their missiles. So it's not going to happen. It's a threat, and they can try it. They got away with it during the Reagan administration. They attacked oil tankers in the Straits of Hormuz and in the Arabian Gulf for years until Reagan had enough of it. And then he reflagged the tankers and put American flags on it and provided U.S. naval support, and that ended the nonsense in that 10-year war between Iran and Iraq. Okay, so let me catch up over here. My chat's behind over here. Danny Pinaval, thank you for the 140 Rand. It's time for South Africa to stay out of these things. Yeah, it's the ANC would be best just to shut their mouths. That would be the smart move. It's great watching your news, Colonel, but the moaners and trolls make it difficult. That's true. Did you ever think of writing a book about your experience in the Army and country visit? I have, Daniel. And I've written manuscripts, never completed them, for a few different things, including science fiction, military spy thriller, but I've never done it. Samantha Myberg says, wow, that's super awesome. Well, thank you. I didn't even talk about the HIV programs that I started, the ones I repaired, the ones I fixed, the hundreds of thousands of lives that were saved because of my direct interventions, the presidential daily briefs that I wrote for the President of the United States, one of which kept 640,000 black Southern Africans from starving to death. Not going hungry, starving to death. Didn't even talk about that. So we could talk about tons of things here. Okay. I prefer to listen to your educated views above the talking heads of media. Yeah. When is my birthday, little Miss Noah? Oh my goodness, Christmas Day. Hence the name Chris. We've talked about that before. See, a lot of people don't know much about me. They're joining the stream late or joining the channel late. Israel TV would probably be more reliable. And Francois says you did. Thank you. You're very welcome. It's my plaisir, Francois Huttensenberg. Your credentials is exactly why I would trust your news and judge. Thank you, Janine. But I still get people that sit in their living rooms and make videos and lie about me, and in groups that are closed to 7,000 people, and try to steal valor. It's comical. It's comical. Irene says that's impressive. Oh, I haven't even gone into it. So that's why I did the whole thing about earlier. Should I put my YouTube plaque up? You know, because I'm not an ostentatious person. You don't see any Legion of Merit, Army Commendation, Defense Meritorious Service Medal, Army none of that's behind me. Not, and you won't find it in my house. Not ashamed of it. I keep it in a box, and I pull it out occasionally because people want to see it. Yes, Iran had it coming. Oh, Kuwait has shut down their airspace now. Okay. Do you realize that the U.S. supplies military weapons to most of the world, and they're in the forefront of military weapons? Okay. Okay, try Israel something. I missed that. It jumped. Try TBN Israel. Okay, TBN Israel. Let's try that. Okay, TBN Israel. What is TBN Israel? I have no idea. You guys watch a lot of stuff. You know who I haven't seen in a few days? Jonathan DT. Jonathan's been very quiet. Where did he go to? He usually wants to come in and attack Israel all the time. And I get hit with an ad. Ooh, that's some gross looking pizza, man. Skip this ad.
We got you. Mikey, we can hear you now. Can you speak?
Okay. I think our tech people muted me.
Okay, 1 second. Sorry, guys. We have some tech.
Okay, so they aren't quite ready. TBN Israel. What is TBN? Does it say? 10,000 watching. They started streaming 10 minutes ago. Well, they have 1.4 million subscribers, so, I mean, they've got a much bigger channel than I do. Their channel is 15 times the size of mine, and I have 1/10 of their viewers, so I'm doing better than them. Daddy, 35 round, what is MC? MC? Oh, Monte Carlo. You're talking about the license plate behind me. That's the Easter egg that I put on the shelf yesterday. Yep. What's DERPA? Do you mean DARPA? Yeah, with all my toes, could write a series of books. Yep. Great career, says Johan. Thank you for that. What would the colonel do? It's super impressive that you can even memorize your military achievements, let alone having done all of it. Well, Andre, I haven't even touched the surface of it. Yeah, DARPA. That's what I thought to myself. The Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency. Married to the Army. No, I wasn't married to the Army. What would it really take for regime change in Iraq? A special forces team. That's it. They'll come crumbling down. The people will turn on them in a heartbeat. Yep, you just have to remove a few key officials and the Islamic police, and then it'll all come crumbling down. It'll all come crumbling down. You might like that old, my brothers were Iraqi. Yeah, no, I would like that. Imagine if Kamala was president. Oh my gosh. Could you imagine this now? The nuclear weapons are already being delivered to Miami. You blow it up. He's been an Israeli intelligence officer for many years. I've been on his Telegram since before. Lots of intel from him. Yeah, well, he's in Israel still, so he's got contacts there. I also was an intelligence officer for 30 years. How long did he serve? I'm not familiar with him. Thank you for sharing. Amir Safarti. That's obviously, he may be Jewish, but that is not, it's not a Judaism name. Pity didn't publish it. Some of us like Army stories. Well, I share it on here, Daniel. Even the ones I wrote didn't publish. The Enforcer on YouTube was good coverage. Wow, I don't know who the Enforcer is. You guys, all these channels, never heard of them. See, that's why I always tell people when they come at me and they lie about me and the jab thing, I'm like, there's 10 million other content creators. Go watch them. You're on par with them, Colonel. Your content is trustworthy. There's not promoting them here. No, it's fine. You guys can mention these channels. I mean, the gentleman who wrote me a WhatsApp earlier apologized. There was no reason to apologize, sir. No reason to apologize. And if I came across as defensive, my apologies to you. Okay? Rayon Haymans. No, my point is just that if sometimes people come in and troll. We saw it during the Senecal event. when I was covering Senegal too. I've told the story a few times. We had 4,800 people watching the channel, and some of the eucalyptus tea swillers from the dude from down under came into my chat because they had penis envy. His channel had like 800 people watching, and I had 6,000. I don't know how many people watching this channel. I forget. I'm embellishing there, but thank you, Francois, for becoming a member. So I had 4,800 people watching the channel, and they came in the chat. Oh, go over to Loving Life. Go to Loving Life. Go to Loving Life. Loving Life. Loving Life. They've got live feeds. Oh, don't watch this stuff. Go to Loving Life. And it gets annoying. It's distracting. It was pissing off my viewers. So I said, fine, go to Loving Life. If you think the content's better, go there. 300 people left. 10 minutes later, I'd gone from 4,500 to 6,800 because they went over there and it was just nonsense. There was no analysis. There was no predicting. There was nothing. Just people standing around with their fingers up their backside, not even in Senegal, out in a staging area. So, people can watch what they want. I mean, I don't own any claim over anybody. Look, I mean, that plaque there, I mean, I did it. Well, me, one person, and 99,999 other people. I didn't do it on my own. It took 100,000. Well, it took 99,999 because I'm subscribed to my own channel. So, in the interest of full disclosure. If you're watching all the channels, we still come back to your channel. Well, thank you for that, Primal Boar. Started June 1983 in Infantry. Okay, Truth Channel, cool. Saw you this morning on Newspot. Oh, yeah, I did. And I did that last night, too. So I did 6 live broadcasts, 10 hours of broadcasting yesterday, roughly. Plus, I did an interview last night. Yep. Which found the Crunch Channel years back. Only analysis back with real knowledge. Well, thank you, Chris. But I'm glad you found it now. Shelley is serenading everyone with a violin now and posting rideshare requests. I don't know what's going on there. You're talking about Miss Hepburn. Yep. Is Tani Shitley still in your case? I have no idea. No idea there, Barbie. No idea. He's half Jewish. Okay. All right. There's nothing wrong with that. Ed Reed. He's Palestinian. Ah, see that. It's an Arabic name. That's why I'm asking. Yep. He's a Palestinian Christian who served in the IDF. Now I get the picture. That's cool. I know Christian Palestinians. Yep. Francois Prinsloo, thank you. Emir is awesome. Okay. Thank you, Carolyn. Israeli airstrikes now in Iran. Yeah, no doubt. They're continuing their campaign. Wouldn't mind regime change in South Africa. Yeah. We could send a team of 5 to accomplish it. Oh my goodness. Which special force group would be used for regime change in, do you think, Green Berets? They would come from Europe, from Stuttgart. Where is Becky Anderson? I don't know who that is. Okay. We sound clever after using your analysis of events, says James Moriarty. My arch nemesis, Moriarty. Sherlock Holmes, Moriarty. Buffering. I'm sorry to hear you buffering. Okay, let's go, folks, back to some of the live coverage. Let's go to TBN Israel. They've got something here.
Iran confirmed shortly thereafter that it had begun its response operation, which it called Operation Blessing of Victory.
Operation Blessing of Victory. Okay, let me see if flight radar is back up. Let me try to load it. It looks like it's slow. 10 gifted memberships. Thank you for that, Nube. Nope, it's not loading. They are really on their tail here. Let's go to Al Jazeera. See what Al Jazeera's got to say.
U.S. forces in the region, they were
this is still a talking head out in front of the White House.
Targets. But there are also concerns here about targets in the United States. There is a high...
Well, we're talking about, Corne Mulder's talking now.
Let's go and address them to the individual citizens in South Africa directly and give them an alternative. And those radical parties, as far as I'm concerned, already the indications are that their support is coming down. From the Democratic Alliance's point of view, and I can't speak on their behalf, they think that by doing well as ministers, they've got 5, I think, in the Government of National Unity. We've got the largest cabinet in the world. I think it's 80. Yeah.
There's a lot of people in the cabinet. 74, I think it is. Al Jazeera, let's go to RSBN.
And emergency medical kits that can protect you.
They're selling stuff. They're not reporting anything. They're selling stuff. Is Trump keeping us safe? Well, I think so, Carolyn. Trinity Broadcasting. That's what TBN, okay? He's the director of operations. Thank you for that. Now I know. A lost fart in a perfume factory. How kind of them to bless the victory of the USA. Primal Power, that's good. I listened to you sharing your details of career for the new viewer. You failed to mention Oh yeah, well I didn't make the cover of South African Rugby magazine. That's a spoof. Yeah, I was at the Tri-Nations game in December of 2013, I think it was. Yeah, I think that's the one I was at. I don't know, whenever it was. I can't remember what year it was, but it was a Tri-Nations game, and that photograph, that they had a photo booth outside, and they put you over the cover. So yeah. Hey, Lizette Mayer, what's going on? Thank you for that. Very kind of you. Varushka's here too. Never forget the date received the plaque. Krista, I don't even know what day I received it. Saturday. I don't know the date. What was the Saturday? Was it 21st? I think it was. Yeah, Saturday's the 21st. Yeah, I suppose. I mean, guys, it's awesome, but 1 million would be better. We got a long way to go to get to 1 million. And if people keep dropping my channel because they don't like the truth, well, you're telling people to get the Rota jab. No, I never said that. Oh, well, I disagree with you. I'm leaving the channel. Okay, you disagree with me because I told you the facts. If you don't want to comply with the standards set by the U.S. government to enter the United States as a refugee, then you're not coming. And those standards include vaccinations. And if you don't want to get vaccinations, you're not coming, and that hurts your feelings, well, then that's your personal problem, not my problem. I'm just telling you the truth. And lying about me and attacking me won't change the objective truth. That's the thing I find funny. I didn't offer an opinion about that. We've had every refugee in the 59ers who's come over here say they had to go for immunizations. Every one of them. I'm simply telling you. And I was a little annoyed that people were whining about it in the chat because they were trolling. So I made a video and said, if you don't like it, then you're not coming. And so they just attack me. That's right. You can't handle the truth. Yep. You want the truth? I deserve the truth. You can't handle the truth. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Don't wave a firearm. That's a good idea. Bunny time, that's right. Hello, folks. Say hello to my little friend. The bugger off bunny. Yeah, exactly. People, if it hurts your feelings, if you've been watching me for months or years and you watch that video and what you got from that is I was promoting that you have to get jabs or telling you should get an mRNA thing, then you are either dim-witted, stupid, or not listening, or all the above. And if that hurts your feelings, well, then you're just going to have to go to some other channel. As we've discussed here, there's lots of channels you can go get your information from. I'm not going to lie to people. That's why when another YouTube content creator in South Africa told people that I tell the refugees what they want to hear, what a crock of nonsense that is. What a crock of nonsense that is. It's time. It's the same date Iran's nuclear got taken out. Oh, you're the bomb. Oh, well, Krista, there. I will remember for that reason. I forgot about that. Bunny. Talking about regime change, when are you being sworn as South Africa's #1 citizen? Quentin, I don't know about that. If we don't get jabs, we're dead anyway in South Africa. Exactly. Do you feel, based on Trump's speech delivered this weekend in formulation of the attacks, he sounded very nervous and tense based on... No. I think that Trump sounded dead serious. And also, Trump doesn't like war. He doesn't like war. He's been opposed to it. He's opposed to the Iraq war. He's opposed to all these interventions. He's ended the destroyed ISIS to end that war. He ended the conflict in Iraq. He ended the conflict in Afghanistan. He avoided conflict with North Korea. He came up with historic Abraham Accords, which brought peace to the Middle East. Historic accords, the most comprehensive and far-reaching peace accords in history. And then Biden promptly tore it up and destroyed it with his stupidity. No, Trump doesn't like war. He doesn't like using weapons, but he's not afraid to use them. And that's the difference between Trump and Obama and Biden. Now, Biden wasn't afraid to use weapons either. He murdered American citizens extrajudicially. He had no problem with doing that. Extrajudicially. Not judiciously, but judicially. Yeah, he had no problem doing that. But that's the difference between leaders. George Bush, not my favorite president. But George Bush made the decision for the surge, which was necessary. It was necessary at that stage, and it worked. Yep. Saudi Arabia says they backed Qatar in a statement recently slamming Iran's missile attack, a flagrant violation of national law. Yeah, the facts don't care about your feelings. That's a good line, Eugene von Ryan. Oh, Madeline, I got my plaque on your birthday. Okay. Is Russia supporting Iran in this conflict? Not in a substantive way, Jessica Fourie, not in a substantive way. Our local news don't have world news in mind. Hope that, well, yeah, I know it took them 12 hours or something like that before they even reported on the U.S. attacking Iran. Never forget, okay. You watched the documentary? Yes, Irene, promoted it on my live stream. I saw it before you guys did. Joe asked me to review it before he released it in case, if I had any concerns about it. And I told him it's an absolutely brilliant documentary. And that documentary should put to end all the nonsense and lies. You see this, until there are no townships, we will continue to fight. Well, there will always be townships because of people stealing land and creating informal settlements and the gangsters involved in it, and the city officials in cities who are partly responsible or fully responsible for it as well. Tigerberg racetrack was a racetrack. There were no informal settlements. It was unsettled land. Why? Because it's swampland. The gentleman had to spend a fortune to keep it drained so they could have racetracks there. So there was no settlement out there. So people invaded his land. The police did not respond. They stole the land, and now it's all a bunch of shacks. Look at the videos. Look at the photographs of it from the air. That settlement didn't exist until corrupt politicians and gangsters made it happen. So how in the world can you have a country in South Africa where there'll be no townships when this happens all the time? When the country is being invaded by criminal alien invaders. It's never going to stop. And so you watch idiots like Vox who get 10 million views on a bogus fake news video saying, spatial dispensation, apartheid. This is a legacy of apartheid. Look at these lush, sumptuous homes on one side of the street and look at these shacks on the other side. There were no shacks there. They stole the land. They moved in. They created this crap since 94. Has nothing to do with apartheid. The population of South Africa was half in 1994. 34 million people lived in South Africa in 1994. Today it's 63 million people. That's almost doubling the population. This is not apartheid. This is ANC. This is not racial, spatial dispensation or displacement. This is ANC policy. This is ANC. This is ANC. That's the bottom line. People can lie about it all day long. They can create these fictitious, but these places didn't exist. The Cape Flats didn't look like the Cape Flats 35 years ago that it looks like today. Only a small number of people lived there 35 years ago.
And the Iranian Revolutionary Guard and their Republican Army. But over the course of nearly 2 decades now, Iran really losing that influence.
Another talking head, this one on Right Side Broadcasting. There's nothing to see there. Let's go back to Al Jazeera.
Most people in this country never thought this kind of an event would happen.
Well, most people, if they live in Qatar and never thought they would be targeted by Iran, are living in a dream world. Of course you're going to be targeted by Iran. Silly comment. Another talking head doesn't know what she's talking about. And now back to someone who knows what they're talking about. Corney Mulder.
That are stuck in the past, addressing each other as comrades. That's the problem.
So, in 1994, 70% whites governed South Africa. We had to vote in 1992. Was it 1992?
92.
Referendum, yes.
We voted 70% of whites.
It wasn't 70%, it was 62. Yeah, folks, you got to be factual. People throw that figure. It wasn't 70% of whites, it was 62%. But still, that's a vast majority. Donny Pinavold, 35 Rand, thank you. Is there a risk of world war? No. Same date Iran's nuclear got taken out. Okay, JP Nadir gave all those memberships. All we want is the truth. As we, the strong, can handle the truth, we are a few good men and women. See the Democrat in the suburban neighborhood who played air raid siren on a big speaker to piss off MAGA? What a loser. No, I didn't see that. Trump has posted on Truth Social. Okay, let's see what he's got to say on Truth Social. All right. Thank you for that update. The only sites that were hitting Iran were totally destroyed. Huh? Okay, he did this at 2:10, so that's 16 minutes ago. Let's see what he's got to say. The only sites that we hit in Iran were totally destroyed, and everyone knows it. Only the fake news would say anything different in order to try and demean as much as possible. And even they say they were pretty well destroyed, working especially hard on this falsehood are Alison Cooper of Fake News CNN, dumb Brian Roberts, chairman of the Concast, Johnny Carl of ABC Fake News, and always the losers of, again, Concast, NBC Fake News. It never ends with the sleaze bags in the media, and that's why the ratings are at all-time low. Zero credibility. All right, that deserves a retweet, a retweet, excuse me, and a heart. Trump going after the media. I love it. The Trumpster kills me, man. He absolutely kills me. He's a funny guy. All right. James says, Chris is an offer comment with a great American accent. No one can convince me otherwise. Richard said, Hudson Institute. Yes, I've covered that. Yep. I'm also coordinating an interview with all three of those folks, Poppenfuss, Mulder, and Theo. President Trump does not want more U.S. military engagement in the region. Exactly. King Charles England quotes Quran and praises Muslims for enormous contribution to British society. Excuse me? Excuse me? What contributions Muslim made to British society? That's like making Robin Hood movies and putting, black Americans in, claiming they were part of Robin's Merry Band. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. If they want to leave, tell them don't let the door. Okay, Marissa, hey. South Africans are easily offended. Well, a lot of people are around the world. Chris, do you think there's already slippers inside America waiting? Sleepers? I think that's what you mean from around. Yes, there are. There are, Ruben. There are sleeper cells in America. There's sleeper cells in France, the Netherlands, United Kingdom, Ireland, Germany. They're all over the place. Any opinion of President Cyril imposes title, along with all the other African countries, presidents having to use governor to comply with the new... Keith, that's funny. TBN is a Christian broadcast program. Yeah, okay. I caught a broadcast just and they were interviewing a pastor in Iran. Okay, thank you. Donald's grandfather was a German, came over. Correct, Garrett, you are correct. The name is Trumpf. Yeah, and they changed it to Trump, anglicized it. They're recent arrivals, whereas I'm an OG. My 17th great-grandfather arrived in America in 1621. 1621, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 404 years ago. Please brush off the noise from the folks spouting jab nonsense. Ignore their drivel. Weary of jabs too, but South Africans, exactly. Wish you could get up on national television here in South Africa and say this. Well, I wish I could too, but we're waiting for the truth report patiently, but patience is beginning to wear thin for a lot of folks. Yeah, 100 years of apartheid will still be blamed. You're correct. Easy to blame apartheid. Exactly. Facts, says JJ. Why is 100% spot on? People build their homes on the front lawn of the Union Building. Well, the Khoisan king did that, but his wife died in a car accident. He's no longer there. They removed him. Trump hasn't given Khamenei a nickname yet. he needs to give him a nickname. It's a terrible time. The Ayatollah Khamenei. The Ayatollah Khamenei. There you go, Khamenei. Terrible time. Tigerberg Raceway was after a Goodwood show, ground the raceway, even did some racing there. Yep. Yeah, and it's Joe Emilio's done an absolutely brilliant. Joe Emilio, if you ever questioned his bona fides as a journalist, not that you have a reason to, watch the documentary. You have no reason to question him whatsoever. That was absolutely brilliant. Alan says, we'll get the Ayatollah. There aren't sleeper cells here. They're kind of blatant. Yeah, you're right, Lisa. They're out in the open there. They're out in the open. I did the Truth Social check. I just got that. You're writing that a minute ago. I just covered it. Yes, that was a brilliant documentary and so true. Still going on. Went that track once in my life. Really sad about what happened. Yep. Well, his friend was supposed to go to the DRC and his flight has been canceled. Apparently, there's safety due to spamming mails, canceling all flights. Really? The sleeper cells are politicians in Parliament. Yeah, I think so. We heard what Bosa had to say about it. I love the nicknames Trump gives people. Mossel Bay had a small township in the 80s. Now they took over a big part. We had a small airfield. The runway is now used as a road. Peter's out of here. Take care. 2 jabs, says Carolyn. Only had 2 jabs. Oh, Carolyn you only had 2 jabs. We can take that many ways. In your lifetime, as a child, as part of the refugee processing. Inquiring minds want to know, Carolyn. Most important question not asked, what would Kamala have done? Yeah. They cannot build, only take. DRC is a separate issue, and apparently they have internal conflict. They do. All right, so I think I've called all the chats and the super chats. Thank you for that, guys. Danny Pinar, he has 140 Rand. That was for Monte Carlo. Whoops, this side, Monte Carlo. It's over there. Yep. Yeah, let's hear about Ibrahim Rasul's got to say. Did you manage to send those map link to Joe E? He'll have a blast checking out what department to smash on any land issues. Huh? Trump just posts on X. Well, he probably posts the same thing he's got on Truth Social. Let's see. At Real. At Real Donald Trump. There's nothing on here. There's nothing since the 21st of June. There's nothing on X with the real Donald Trump. So you're watching a fake site. He's posted nothing since June 21st on his Twitter account. He doesn't post stuff there. Let's go back and see if he's posted again here on Truth Social. No, same thing. Hasn't done anything new. Nothing new. All right, let's chicken in Al Jazeera.
Charismatic type, but I'm not sure he reads history. By the way, Netanyahu reads a lot of history. He's a ferocious reader of history.
So he's insulting Donald Trump, saying, I'm not sure he reads history. I'm sure he reads more history than you, hero. Yep. More of the right side broadcasting.
Still in force for now. The question is, what comes next? So those are some good words from
Dmitry Medvedev, Deputy Chairman of the Russia Security Council. Regarding President Trump's concerns, I condemn the U.S. strike on Iran. It failed to achieve its objectives. Wrong. However, Russia has no intention of supplying nuclear weapons to Iran because, unlike Israel, we are parties to the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. I know quite well what this would entail, having overseen our nuclear forces as president, but other countries might, and that's what was said. And we definitely shouldn't be arguing over who has more nukes, all the more so because the New START Treaty, which I once signed with the U.S. president, is still in force for now. Question is, what comes next? Well, the question is, what comes next? Trump looks like he's showing restraint, so we'll see. Again, I think that the issue would have been if American soldiers had actually been killed, Trump would have been boxed in a corner and had to do something. But now the Iranians can say they fired, stood up, and we'll see what happens. But they're just stupid. So this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. Let's see what else we got here. Back to the Hudson Institute.
It's a beautiful country, it really is. When I lived in Zambia, and even when I lived in Kenya, that's where you would go, right, for vacation. And
I don't know who that guy is they're talking to.
Is world class. Cape Town is world class, and other parts of the country. So I'm hopeful that this can be somehow resurrected, this relationship.
Sorry, that's boring. Sorry, folks, I find it boring. Let's see who the guy is. So Courtney Mulder we know, Theo Diager, Gerard Papenfuss, we know him on there, but it doesn't say who's talking to them. It doesn't say. So the Hudson Institute has 132,000 subscribers. So they got more than I've got. More than I've got. So congratulations to them. All right, so here we are. A little over 1,000 people still with us here. Be sure to hit the like button, folks. Spoofing. Spoofing is a way of misleading. Hang on a second. I got a phone call here. Hello? Sorry, folks, that's Alex Newman. I'm supposed to be on Alex's program, so I'm going to have to end this right now. I'm supposed to be on there live, so sorry about that. We got carried away with the Iraq thing. 5 minutes ago, I was supposed to be on. Cheers.